Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dawn of Discussion. Oh, okay. Uh, Unfortunately, not live because of scheduling situations, but we are
Well,
here.
we are live, just not live in the same place.
Yes, we're back to the old format temporarily, but temporarily, and it'll be good. We'll have fun. That's what really matters here. So, last couple of weeks, as you've seen, I think this is probably the best thing to address first. Is we've been playing a lot of Battlefield together. Um, if you usually like to watch us when we're just talking, the main reason for that is because there isn't always that much to talk about, and sometimes we just don't really feel like it. We're human beings. We have wants and needs, and sometimes we just don't feel like talking about things. We just feel like we have to do something in the moment. So, this is going to happen quite a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of episodes where we're just kind of playing a game or like just doing whatever, or maybe even skip a couple of weeks. But we'll
Yeah,
try to do like once a month where we just kind of try to catch up about everything that we want to talk about. And there's a couple of special episodes out at some point like we have ideas for. So should be
yeah,
good. That's out of the way.
definitely.
Uh,
But
so I guess the first thing that we should really talk about is Guy. How are you feeling?
I'm tired. Work's been
Uh,
busy and hellish, which kind of brings us to what will probably be our first topic. Can I just say, if a film is 15 rated, be 15
B15.
or don't watch it at all.
There's a rating there for a reason, man. I'm assuming this
And
is
like,
about Venom.
yeah, it's about
Yeah.
Venom. The thing that I expect teenagers that are like 14 and under to try and sneak in because that's what kids do. But the one that really irks me are parents who take their kids to see Venom and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, but he may not be 15, but I'm his parent. Surely it's okay." It's like, no, it's not PG. It's not 12A.
Yeah.
It's 15, meaning 15 and over. PG with means parental guidance. 12A means you can see it so long as you're with an adult.
Yep.
This isn't one of those films.
I
And
think what you want to do then is just in detail describe all the horrible things in which people die in that film.
yeah.
It's a bit of a spoiler, but
Oh
they
no,
kind of
no.
deserve
I'd
it for
also
being
probably
pricks.
I'd probably make stuff up as well. It's like, oh, there's a
Yeah.
scene where Venom has a guy by like the balls. He rips it off. He gouges out the guy's eyes, sticks the
Oh
balls in his eyes,
no.
and then just vividly and look at the child the whole time. It's like, and after like describing the fully horrible thing, it's like your dad wanted to take you to see this, by the way, and just the kid going,
Yeah.
it's like,
No,
yeah.
I'll probably think it's awesome, and then that is like, I'm having second opinions about this.
I'm like, yeah,
I'm
you
not so
should.
sure now.
Oh, there's also a sex scene in the 15 rated film.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15-year-olds, man.
Like basically, like at some point, like
Porn's a thing.
this friendship between like Eddie Brock and Venom. Well, at some point, like Venom like detaches himself from Eddie and like makes like a symbiote penis and like starts pegging Tom Hardy. It's really a sight to behold.
Oh my
Truly a
god,
VFX
that
masterpiece, but I don't know if your child really wants to see
having
that.
said that, there is kind of so okay, spoilers obviously about the film, but to be fair, the scene I'm about to talk about is in the trailer of just like Carnage sticking his tongue down the other guy's throat.
Yeah. That was
When
that
I
was.
saw that, I couldn't help but think there's gonna be a lot of hentai scenes now to do with Carnage, isn't there?
You know what's funny is I've seen that in a film before, and weirdly this was more horrifying. I don't know. You've
Hmm.
probably not seen this because I can't think of anyone who could be bothered to see this. But have you heard of Slaughterhouse Rules?
I haven't seen it yet. No, but
It's so basically like I remember
I've
seeing
heard
it.
about it.
I remember seeing it in like early stages, um, because that was a thing before the pandemic. Like sometimes in Odeon and Wimbledon they had like pre-screenings for like films that weren't quite
Yeah,
finished, and so there was this scene where there was like this monster that was like chasing them down, and Simon Pegg was in it too. He was like running away from it, and I don't remember how, but they managed to kill it while it was in motion, so it still like propelled itself forward, landed on top of Simon Pegg, almost crushed his head, but didn't, and then its tongue fell out into his mouth. Right, that's what that reminded me of. But for some reason, Carnage doing that is so much more horrifying. Like that was funny. This was not. This was
that's
really
the thing.
fucking.
Carnage is like, that's the thing, that's a monster. Carnage is more a
Mm.
monster. It's also a person,
Yeah.
which means the person had some inkling of wanting to do that as well, which
Yeah.
is just really creepy. Because it's now that you have seen it, like Alien, the face hugger, like it
Yes.
literally sticks something down your throat to lay an egg in
Oh
you.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like there's weird shit, in film, but Carnage just doing that just
Yeah.
felt weird. Man,
And the various other ways in which he like killed people. Some of it a bit cartoonish, I will say, but it was very enjoyable to watch regardless.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
the like the fucking tornado thing. That was interesting. I didn't know that Carnage could do that. I actually was pretty sure they couldn't.
Yeah, when that started happening, I was just thinking to myself, just going, okay, that feels a bit over the top. And then afterwards, it's like, wait, this is Venom. Of course, it's fucking over the top. What am I talking
Yeah.
about?
By the way,
Makes
yeah,
perfect
we've
sense.
seen Venom. I'm just if it wasn't clear by now. Um, we saw it on Monday, so it's fresh in our brains. What'd you
And
think
I enjoyed it.
overall?
I didn't
Yeah,
think it was brilliant or fantastic, but I just thought it was a fun film to sit down and watch, which is what I thought it would be in the end. I
fair
got
enough.
exactly what I thought it was.
Yeah,
Nothing more, nothing less.
that sounds about right. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, because first thing I did as well, I went on to like just Rotten Tomatoes to get a general sense of what critics and the audience thought, and of course, critics being critics were like, "Oh, 60%." I was like, 60?
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember on
I would have
IMDb it was
given
like
it.
a 6.4 or something like that.
And to be honest, at times I kind of felt like, what, I kind of feel like that's not too far off. Maybe a 7
It's
for
about
me.
right. Do you know what it is? I feel like I really like films that are
Yeah.
in the like 6 to 7, maybe 8 range.
Yeah.
Especially like these kind of like action superhero films that are a little bit more about like just being weird and entertaining and fun, like a
And
fun
yeah.
thrill ride rather than like be a deep film, which it wasn't not. Like there
No.
were some things about it that you could analyze and appreciate in a way.
Um what else? And the
What did the
audience
audience
score was
say?
like, the audience was like 80 something percent, which I thought that's not like
Yeah,
a
that sounds
8
about
out of
right.
10. That's just like 80% of the audience enjoyed the film. I thought that makes sense to me because it very much feels like an audience pleaser film.
Yes.
Like
Oh
it
yeah.
feels like a film that it's like if you're just looking at the list and you're like, you don't want to see 3 hour long Bond film. You're like, I'd rather see. Oh, Venom's on. Yeah, why not? And just you go
Yeah.
see Venom, and you're
Well,
like, oh yeah, it was fun.
you'd think so, but people are still going to see Bond. I can't say anything. I haven't seen it, but like,
Nah, I'm
what
tired of Bond.
you've seen both, haven't you?
I've seen bits of Bond. I haven't
Okay,
seen
never
Bond
mind
yet.
then. Then I'll do away with my question. Let me ask you
What was your
a
question?
different
I
question.
know how it ends. Don't get me wrong.
No, I was gonna ask which one do you prefer, but since you haven't seen Bond, there's no real.
I can already tell you that I probably already know my answer.
Okay, fair enough. What I will ask you is which one do you prefer between Venom 2 and Venom 1? Because I
I do.
haven't.
Go on.
Go on.
I do prefer Venom too.
Same.
I like Venom, but I think Venom Let There Be Carnage is just that more fun. I think the fact that Carnage is in it kind of also makes the film, like, Riot was
Meh.
a villain who was just sort of there, but he was kind of blah.
Yeah.
He was as his color shade dictated. He was very gray and bland.
Yeah.
Whereas Venom is quite, not Venom. Carnage was,
Yeah.
it was just really well done, I feel. And I think weirdly I actually liked Anne a lot more in this film than I did in the first one.
Yeah.
Mainly because
I
I
know
feel
what
like
you mean.
there was less emphasis on her being hurt by Eddie, and she, like, they had both kind of clearly started moving on.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, once again, Venom stole the show as a personality.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was just because the first one, as fun as it was like an origin, just seeing their relationship develop in the second one, like the way it was, the whole when they did break up essentially was just really,
Yeah.
really
It was
fun.
really funny, but it was also really um it hit right. I feel
Yeah, yeah,
like
it did. Yeah,
it wasn't too funny, and you can still like sense the emotion that was kind of behind it, which I really appreciate.
yeah,
Um, especially in the scenes after where Eddie is like, thinking to himself, made a big mistake.
yeah. After he realized the guy that got out also has a symbiote, is like, oh well, shit.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Right?
it's got something to do with it, I guess. Maybe a
Oh,
little
oh,
bit.
that's got just something to do with it.
Just a little bit. But it's also because he felt very, very alone and very sad, and
I didn't get that as much from Eddie's side as opposed to Venom's side. Venom, very much I got the sense that he did miss Eddie, whereas Eddie, I got the sense he does miss Venom, but it still felt more like he understood that Venom is something to protect him,
yeah.
not not a best bud. That's at least
So
the vibe I got.
basically, early on in the comics, as far as I remember, like reading them, um, the relationship was very utilitarian. So it was very much like, um, Eddie Brock really hated Peter Parker slash Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and Venom really wanted to have someone's love in a way.
Okay.
And so the idea was that like Eddie used Venom for his for what he wanted, and Venom
Yeah.
also very much wanted this, but obviously like the whole like eating brains thing, like that was still a thing, and obviously like in the comics, Eddie Brock is much more ruthless. Like he's not like the lethal protector that he is in the film. Like he will eat people no problem.
Yeah.
At least that's how it started off. But at some point, they do develop like practically like a platonic but still very romantically involved relationship in a way,
Yeah.
where like they do truly love each other, not as brothers, but something else entirely.
The best way you could probably describe it is basically just two best friends who realize they love each other, and that sense of they're just best friends who love each other
Yeah,
and wouldn't want to do anything for each other kind of vibe.
yeah, that kind of thing.
Because that's very much the vibe I got. It's like watching us like they're not romantically involved because
No, because that would be weird.
they're also not brothers in any way, shape, or form, but they are basically just best
Yeah,
friends. That's
maybe
the best way.
Step Brothers,
Yeah.
like the film Step Brothers.
You want to do karate in the garage?
You want to eat people's heads? No, but
Yeah.
let's go
Oh
save some
no.
people. That was really good. I thought one of the things I found interesting. I don't know her superhero name, I guess, but the character of Francis, uh,
Shriek, I think is what they called her.
Streak. Fair enough.
Shriek. No,
Shriek.
Shriek.
Sorry, Shriek. Um, fair enough. I thought I don't know if Shriek and Carnage were actually together in the comics. I haven't really researched that bit, but I think it's a very interesting
I
thing to do.
think there was something I saw somewhere that described that whatchamaface, whoever the guy is that gets Carnage. What's his name? The guy Woody Harrelson plays?
Cletus Cassidy,
Cletus Cassidy. From what I
which is
can
a
remember, is
very
like,
fucking redneck name.
oh yeah. How do you spell Carnage? I have no idea.
Carnage. Carnage.
Yep, Carnage. Because I remember seeing somewhere that I think that he was supposed to have like a love interest that he wanted revenge for the death of, or something like that, where basically that was part of the reason why he became Carnage.
Oh, I thought it's because he just wanted to like exact vengeance upon, you know.
Yeah, and I remember that. I think that might have been part of it. That's the thing. I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong.
Could be, could be.
Uh,
Regardless, I think it is a very interesting pairing.
yeah,
Just the idea of like he is romantically involved with someone who diminishes his symbiote's power.
yeah.
I thought that was like the more I think about it, the more I think about the more I think to myself, that's intense because at some point like I feel like maybe they could have really done something at the end with that a little bit where they have him just like properly choose between, well they did a little bit where they have him choose between Carnage or Francis.
Yeah.
Um kind of did and kind of didn't.
So, as it turns out, they did take that straight from the comics.
Oh, as such.
Francis is Carnage's girlfriend. Well, Cletus Cassidy's girlfriend from the comics.
Andy Serkis, ladies and gentlemen, gives us what we want.
That's I thought that was the case. I remember reading it somewhere a while ago, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't I'll be honest, I haven't read that much Carnage stuff, so I genuinely wouldn't know. Even my Venom stuff.
Trivia.
Go on.
A bit of trivia. Her attraction to Carnage is very similar to Harley Quinn and the Joker. So I wonder if it perhaps in the comic. I should be fair. I did get a little bit of that because
That's
Carnage did
yeah.
not give a shit about her at all. Like he very bluntly said, "I will eat this woman if she keeps getting in my fucking way." So I very much get the sense that it was an abusive relationship.
You know what's funny as well? Cletus did have that a little bit as well. Now I think about it,
Yeah,
because when they did get together, for the most part, he was really just showing off Carnage and just
yeah,
basically going like, "Look at all the cool shit I can do. Now we can be together, but also this cool shit I can do."
yeah.
So
Plus, like, part of me wonders if that was perhaps because of the whole like he didn't have any powers, but she did, kind of thing. You know, he
yeah,
wanted her now that I couldn't protect you before, but now I can.
yeah. The love was real though. That much
Yeah,
is certain.
that level. I wasn't sure if she died at the very end. That's the thing. I think she died, but I couldn't be sure.
Didn't a fucking bell drop on her head?
Yeah, but you never know because how cartoonish it was. Maybe she like perfectly fit in it when it dropped on her, so it's just surrounding her. So she's just trapped in it. I don't know. She's probably
I
dead.
feel like if she
But
was not dead, that Venom would probably go back to her for seconds.
yeah, that's very true.
Um,
That's very true.
but
So what did
then
you think?
yeah,
Sorry, just what did you think at the very end? Like the whole like whatchamacallit, when Venom was like no, not Venom, Cletus Cassidy was like, Eddie, all I wanted was your friendship. What do you think of that moment?
that one had me a little bit puzzled.
Yeah,
I feel like that they meant for it to be puzzling. I think they didn't mean it to be like an obvious thing where they're like, yeah, no, he just wants this friendship.
yeah,
I
because
think friendship is well. Let's think about this. What do you think it means?
well, this thing is, I think in the end, probably what you would think. Friendship means different things for different people, probably
Yeah,
ultimately. And I think, like at first, when I really thought about it, that like the night we saw, I was just like, what the fuck? And I thought, how does that make any sense? The whole film is like, oh wait, he's a serial killer. It doesn't make any sense because he's fucking crazy. Of course. And I thought that made sense because in the end, to me, that's no different from the Joker and Batman. The
yeah,
Joker would view Batman as like his best friend, whereas
yeah.
Batman just wouldn't give a shit at all, logically. So I kind of got that vibe in the end. It's like, okay, maybe Cletus was just, you know, really in the end deranged
You know
because
what?
he really thought because him and he always kept saying to Eddie, he's like, your father abused you, mine did too. You are like this, I was like this, kind of this whole
Yeah.
like we're the
I
same kind of thing.
Do you know what? I haven't even considered like comparing Venom and Carnage to Batman and the Joker, but now that you mention it, like the similarities between Joker and Carnage are like right
Very, very
there.
similar.
They're
Yeah,
right
they're
there.
very similar. Yeah.
Um, I guess
Because
yeah.
the whole
No,
point,
I see that. I agree with
because
that.
Joker, all he wants is anarchy.
Yeah.
And Carnage is no different from anarchy. It's just more destructive logically, like as a idea. Because bringing Carnage is to bring chaos, but through destructive means, where the Joker is not as precise with he just wants destruction, he just wants to bring anarchy. So I think they're both and they're both crazy. They're both unhinged and insane. So I've always viewed that Carnage as like the step up version of the Joker, but weirdly somehow still not as deranged in some weird way. I don't know.
You
But they're
know,
very similar characters.
okay. I'm gonna say something that is potentially barbaric,
Huh?
so it's a trigger warning. For me, that technically means that Woody Harrelson as Carnage may very well be my favorite incarnation of the Joker in live action film.
I knew you were going.
Because I like him
Just
better
imagine if
than.
there were any Batman fans there just going, don't you say
How
that!
dare you!
Joker's the bestest thing!
Heath Ledger didn't die for you. No, he didn't.
Oh, yeah.
So I
But
because I like for me like Heath Ledger as the Joker is a good Joker, but not quite my Joker. You
yeah,
know, B- better than Cesar Romero. Let's have that fucking out of the gate. Um,
better than Gerard Leto, but there again,
Yep, absolutely. That's
anyone
yeah.
could be better than Gerard Leto at this point.
I thought I thought he was way more compelling than Joaquin Phoenix as a character.
Yeah.
And then there's Jack Nicholson, which is number 2.
Yeah.
Probably will always be. And number 1 is Carnage.
I want you to find your hardcore Batman fan friend.
I'm
just
gonna
say
I'm gonna tell him that. To be fair, I'm gonna have to
he's
tell
going
him.
to give you a fucking earful.
I'm gonna have
Like
to
when
tell
you
him
just-
to watch it anyway.
You're gonna
So-
send him a text, put it down, it's just gonna start ringing, and it's just his number, and you're like, "Oh, there you go. You ain't happy."
There's him going like, "You're fired," and it's got like, "I don't work for you anymore. I haven't done in 3 years."
Having said that, I've just thought of something extra.
Yeah.
Not thought of something extra. As you know, so I think just quickly going back to sort of Venom in particular, the whole relationship between him and Eddie Brock,
Yes.
I think was fantastic.
It was really well done.
It was because I think we made the same points. Like it wasn't an action film, really, because the action happened at the very end of the film. Realistically,
There was the most of the action was very contained.
Yeah, like the only action parts were Carnage when he broke out, Carnage when he attacked the police at the place they set on fire. Actually, no, that was still the same place. Actually, it wasn't even they set the
Carnage
place where
Carnage was like maybe halfway through the film.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think he was too.
It could be a horror film, I guess, if you really want to look at it that way.
It is in some ways, yeah, because I always kind of got the vibe that would make sense for Carnage. That if you wanted to do a Carnage film, it would be a horror movie because he's just so. He makes Jason Voorhees look like a kitten.
Yeah, he really does.
But having said all this now, I guess we have to talk about it. The end of Venom through Carnage. So, spoilers. Do not watch this if you don't want to know the end credit sequence.
If you see this message, mute right now. I'll remove this message when we're done talking. Holy shit. I still... It's one of those things where, like, it doesn't even matter if you know that it's coming, right? I feel.
Sorry. Yeah. Just quickly, for anyone who is still watching but just doesn't give a shit about spoilers, first and foremost, you're crazy. But just to let you know,
welcome.
So your end sequence is Venom is sat in his hotel room in some rundown place in either, I think it's Mexico, I think.
Something like that,
or
yeah, probably.
Bahamas, whatever. And he's just sitting there watching some Spanish soap opera that looks terrible. And then him and Venom get to talking, and Eddie and Venom are talking. They're about to talk about the secrets of the symbiote world and the knowledge that has been acquired over
the knowledge of the symbiote hive mind.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, weird shit happens, and they find themselves, they're still in the room, but it's fresher, it's cleaner, it's crisper. It's like a 5-star hotel. It's daytime as well. It was nighttime before, but now it's daytime. And it's like a 5-star hotel. And the news comes on. And of course, there's our man J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man and the fact that he's Peter Parker. And Venom just simply goes up to the screen. And I remembered this. Someone pointed out to me. Venom was literally previously just talking the scene before that about how they needed like a rival, like a villain to their hero.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
And then Spider-Man is on the screen. He touches it and he just simply says, him. And that's it.
Okay, that changed my theory.
Yeah? All right, so tell me right now, what was your theory?
Okay, so the theory was, right, and I thought about this like Monday on the way home. Because I was the way he said that guy felt like he knew who he was, despite the fact that he's never actually seen him. And obviously, like the main thing that we discussed is what looked like he was transported to the cinematic universe via magic of some sort. Like it didn't look technological or anything. So instead of thinking, oh, this has something to do with Loki, we thought this is probably Doctor Strange bringing him into the MCU via the spell.
Yeah.
And at some point I was thinking about other things, and then like the bit in the trailer like shot into my head. You know, the bit where like Dr. Octopus says, "Hi, Peter," despite the fact that I'd never seen that guy. And then it hit me. The spell has gone wrong, right? In the sense that it tears the multiverse. What if instead, like, the spell was meant to remove the memory from everyone that Peter Parker is Spider-Man? What if instead
Everyone knows.
everyone knows?
That
But
would be pretty mind-blowing.
not just in that universe,
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Oh, fuck.
Instead of finding a universe where no one knows who Peter Parker is or that he is Spider-Man, everyone knows.
People.
And because of it, all the villains want to kill him.
And there'd be so many different versions of Spider-Man after that. There'd be so many different versions of him.
Oh yeah.
Wow. That would be Spider-Geddon, in all honesty.
That was my theory. But it
Having
here's
said
the thing.
that,
I hate theories because they rarely hold up. And if they do hold up, then you kind of think to yourself like, okay, well I knew that.
Yeah.
So
fair,
I hate doing this.
I think that's still a possibility. I'm not going to settle on it because I think, as cool as it would be,
I don't think it's gonna be it.
I don't think it's going to be us because I never try to go with theory simply because I've gotten so many wrong at this point. Like, man, I can't just predict films because Marvel's just.
And I don't want to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't want to either. I don't want to fucking know how No Way Home goes. I just want to sit there and go, show me. I am going to be so fucking pissed if we don't get any form of a staff screening for No Way Home. I don't care if none of my friends are available to see it. I'm going to go and see it.
I don't,
because I will not have fucking spoilers for No Way Home.
I don't care. I don't care if I will have work the following day. If I'm allowed to come with you, I will.
Yeah,
because this is just more important. Fuck it, I'll take a sick day if I have to. Saying that right now, hoping that no one's actually watching.
Midnight showing that goes to 3 a.m. and I'm opening the following day at like 7 a.m. I don't give a fuck. I will sit there, watch, and then just sit in the staff room just going, what the fuck is that? How amazing. But man, I think we discussed that. And I think ultimately my rating for the film was like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then that sequence happened. I was like, nah, it's at least 7.5.
Do you know what it felt like to me?
Pushed it up so much higher.
It felt to me like, well, obviously this one, like, Venom wasn't as good as what I'm about to say, but like, it felt like when we went to watch Into the Spider-Verse, and like at the end of the film we were like, this was a great film, I really liked it, and then at the end it's just Spider-Man 2099 shows up, and it's like, boom! Yeah. Like, I literally said, like, this is a 9 out of 10 for me. Spider-Man 2099 showed up, 10 out of 10. We're good.
Yeah.
Best Spider-Man film. Best Spider-Man film. It could be beaten by No Way Home. It may
very well be beaten very soon at this point, because I don't think for any Marvel film, not even Endgame, really, have I been this excited for a Marvel movie. Because with Endgame and Infinity War, I always knew they were coming. Yeah. And I always kind of knew what would happen. But with No Way Home, it's just didn't really know that was the direction they were going with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Also had no idea about how big they were going with this. Like, when Dr. Octopus showed up in the trailer, I was like, yeah, this is going to be the best Marvel movie ever.
But the difference is we knew that he would be in there. Arguably, for me, like, the bigger mind-blowing thing was seeing the pumpkin bomb.
Oh, yeah. Because I looked at the cast list, and I think we've looked at it before. Jamie Foxx is back as Electro.
Yep. I could probably remove the spoiler tag, by the way, can I? Because we've moved on that video.
Yeah, I think it's fine, yeah. But
hey, welcome back. We're talking about No Way Home now. We kind of segued into it.
Yeah, because you probably may be a bit confused why, but once you see, I can't say anything.
Just watch Venom and come back to us. It's just because we're talking about Marvel stuff. We're talking about Marvel stuff.
This will still be on YouTube. Just stop watching. Go watch Venom right now.
Yeah.
There you go. And then this video will still be here once you come back.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. No Way Home, I think, is probably going to be my. I
don't want to make expectations like that.
Yeah.
Because things can go very wrong. I don't think it will.
No. I would be devastated if it went that badly because at this point
Yeah.
it's impossible for me not to have hopes
Oh,
for
same
No Way
here.
Home.
Same here.
So I'm not expecting it to be my favorite of the Marvel movies, but I'm expecting it to be at least in my top
Yeah.
5. I
Cause,
would be very bitterly disappointed if I didn't think it was better than something.
and because basically like the amount of villains as well, right? Just like going through them real quick, you've got Alfred Molina as Doctor Octopus, which is fucking insane. Um, Jamie Foxx as Electro, who apparently is not going to be blue, which is good.
Yeah.
Um, as far as I'm aware, Willem Dafoe might not be in it, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be someone at least. Like the
Yeah.
laugh was his, but like there's gonna be
Um,
someone Green Goblin.
could be James Franco.
That would be sick. I'm down for that. I don't care. I'm down for that.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that'd be interesting.
and then in the trailers, people claim to have spotted Lizard and Sandman as well, but that's such a long shot because there's no anything to back it up.
There's not anything to back it up. It wouldn't surprise me if they were in it, but at the same time, so
They could take
what
the
we've got,
Lizard from Amazing Spider-Man and
yeah,
Sandman from Spider-Man 3, and then that covers those films. And
yeah,
then Secret Member number 6. You got your Sinister 6 right there.
yeah. So what? Electro, Doc Ock, Lizard Man, um,
Sandman, Green Goblin,
Batman, Green Goblin.
and
If there were
number
a
6.
sixth one, I feel like it actually might be from Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I think it might actually be from his
I
line.
think you and I both know who number 6 would be.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah. You know what? It could be. That would be fucking mind blowing because that person might think they made a mistake if they succeed killing Spider-Man after this. Because
Oh yeah.
part of me thinks this might be like what was it? The Ultimate Spider-Man? Was that the one where he died at the end, or was there another one?
Yes. Well,
Yeah, I
no.
think it was.
Well, yeah. Ultimate Spider-Man was a bit dumb. I'll be honest. There was so much.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. Ultimate Spider-Man started off as a great idea, right? Or
yeah,
the Ultimate Marvel anyway. By the end, no one liked
yeah.
it
Yeah, because
because
I
Spider-Man
remember.
died and then he came back to life. And then he
Oh,
decided to just fucking travel the world. What's going on?
oh no, sorry, my iPad just went funny because it looked like the stream wasn't working for a second, but no, it's just my
Okay.
iPad.
Oh, good. I've got a preview here as well, so
Yeah,
no worries. Um, yeah. So literally, I have the book as well. It's like a
yeah.
Miles Morales story original, but Peter Parker at some point fucking came back to life, and then fucking decided to travel the world as an unknown.
Like the
It
thing
was
is,
fucking stupid.
I watched the video about like the Marvel Ultimate Universe stuff, like about the most gruesome deaths
Oh,
from it, and I
Ultimatum.
watched it, whatever it was, and I just afterwards thought, what the fuck was Marvel thinking? Because I saw stuff like there was like
Dark.
bits where people were eating other people, like Wasp was eaten by the Blob, and
Yeah.
then Ant-Man ate the Blob in revenge, and I was like, what the fuck
I think,
happened?
if I'm not
Why?
mistaken, that happened in Ultimatum, which is universally known as one of the worst Marvel comics
Yeah,
ever to have been written. Because holy shit, Ultimatum! If someone here doesn't know, Ultimatum is basically like a way that that the people at Marvel decided to sort of signify the end of the Ultimate Universe, which is basically to just have a bunch of people die in the most gruesome ways. Nobody liked it. It was
yeah,
awful. And ultimately, like, they ended up just going like, okay, well, we're gonna save a shred of dignity and just have the Ultimate Universe die with Secret Wars, and just leave it at that, and we're done.
yeah.
And
Like,
thank God they did, because holy
yeah.
shit, it was fucking. God damn it.
Okay. So I'm just seeing text from Tammy about something weird. But
Sure.
yeah, it's Marvel, like the Ultimate Universe stuff. Just
Yeah.
I've never really gone into the Marvel comics. I've read a few of them and not minded them.
I like a lot of them, but mostly
I
like in the 2000s era. and
Yeah,
maybe
I
like
very much get
the
the sense
way
I
older
like the
ones.
earlier stuff than the newer
Yeah,
stuff. I don't like much of the newer stuff. It's weird because with DC, I feel like the newer stuff it's not great, but at least it's readable at times.
yeah. The new Marvel stuff is not readable at all.
Yeah,
It's
like
it's borderline garbage.
yeah. Well, I guess that can be a decent segue now, talking about the comics and
Yeah.
particularly DC.
Do you know what?
So,
Do you mind if we stick with the Marvel stuff and the cinematic
sure,
universe
sure,
real quick? Because there's a slight thing that is worth mentioning as well.
sure.
Um, because one of the main reasons, right, that I really am looking forward to the new Spider-Man film is because Doctor Strange is in it. Doctor Strange has proven himself to be a really cool character, and
Yeah,
he's going to be
Benedict
involved in
Cumberbatch,
most of these films. So
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Spider-Man and obviously his own film Multiverse of Madness, which was meant to come out in March, right? And that film had high hopes for me. Like there were things that I didn't particularly care about, like introducing America Chavez in this new film, which is a character that I absolutely don't fucking care about. America Chavez, she's a
Oh,
superhero
the
who
other
can
Captain America, right?
no. This is a superhero who is just called America, and she has the power to transfer, I think, either herself or other people as well between universes, and that's it. She was like the poster child for Marvel for like maybe a year or something, but I don't see anything interesting about her. But she's going to be introduced into the MCU in this
Uh,
film. Don't really care about that, but I do care about Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Sam Raimi directing.
yeah,
Good shit.
yeah, it's gonna be good shit.
And then you
Yeah.
hear that apparently something in the story didn't quite work, and they have to do reshoots, and so the film's delayed by 2 months, as
I'll be
is
interested to see
all of
what
the other
didn't
films.
work. I'll be interested to see what didn't work. Because here's the issue I find sometimes when like that happens
Yeah,
is fans have a habit of like going, "Oh, the studio's stepping in. Why?" And then the moment the film comes out, and they're all like, what was the moment? What was the moment?" So we can all say that ruined the film because they've done it with so many other like Marvel, Star Wars,
they did it with Justice League.
Justice League films. Like,
They pointed out all the
oh,
bad things about the first film when the Snyder Cut came out, and they were like, "This works so much better." And it's like I couldn't put my finger on why it was so bad, but now I know that the studio intervened with all these. And it's like, shut up, you
I just think it's like
child.
you watch the original Justice League film. It's like
Yeah,
most of it is still the same film, guys.
yeah. It's
Pretty,
just
pretty
like
much, very, very little has changed. The
some
only
of the
difference
differences
is
are minute.
it's like 2 hours shorter, and that's not a bad thing
Yeah, the only difference
at
is
all.
if you compare it to a D&D campaign, Zack Snyder's one is with characters who just do the missions, whereas Joss Whedon's Snyder film, Joss Whedon's Snyder film, Joss Whedon's Justice League film is RP, which is more interesting.
Yeah.
So watch that instead, and don't be a
Or,
child.
or, or
Save some
alternatively,
time.
is I will simply say, I know you may or may not agree. I just say, or alternatively, both are equally shit in my opinion, and I don't like either of them because I think Josh Whedon's is just there's something missing.
I'm not gonna say
But
it's not
whatever,
bad.
yeah,
It's just better.
fair enough.
But
Let's put it this way:
yeah,
it's not a shiny, it's not a dirty turd. It's a shiny one.
yes,
It's a shiny pile of shit
it's a very
versus the.
funny looking one.
It's a funny looking shit. She can't
Yeah,
help but giggle.
exactly.
Uh,
But with Doctor Strange, I hope that the situation is not too dire. You know, to be fair, like it's something like that can always happen, and I don't mind it being a little bit delayed because it's only 2 months.
yeah,
It's
yeah. It's only a 2 month delay, which
yeah, and there's other things going on meanwhile. Like
and
you've got
and
Hawkeye, you
when
got
you
Spider
say it's a
Man.
major reshoot that only takes 2 months to do,
It's not a
that's
major
not a bad
reshoot.
thing.
It's it's um it's it's a much needed reshoot, but it's not a major one, as far
Oh,
as I'm
there you go.
aware.
Yeah, that's I think that's
Sorry, I
fine.
did
Yeah,
say extensive.
extensive. Yeah,
Well,
it's not that extensive if it's only going to be like delayed by 2 months,
yeah,
which will include like all the post production stuff they'll need to do for the reshoots.
yeah.
So it's
That's
not
yeah.
too bad.
It's not too bad.
But
Like if they shoot the whole thing in 10 days, Marvel is good like that.
yeah,
I wonder if it has anything to do with like ideas that they're having for like integrating more into the story.
I wonder
Because
if that might
Marvel
be.
says stuff sometimes that they don't really mean, and then like at the end it's like, "Oh, Marvel, you got us hooked on that lie, you bastards."
Just quickly, because something you said kind of twigged my brain there. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
that's interesting. And it was very early on when you mentioned the new character they're introducing into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
oh,
And you said,
America Chavez.
yeah, she was like the poster child for Marvel for a bit.
Let me look her up.
I've realized something.
Hmm.
Marvel keep constantly trying to find new poster childs for
They
their
always do.
comics. Like they're trying to phase out Iron Man and Cap and Thor and so on to find new people to put in the poster. The only one they don't try to change is Spider Man. It's the only one.
They they
But
they do here and there, but like not with any success because people
yeah,
tend to default to either Peter Parker or Miles Morales
Miles
to an
Morales.
extent, even though there are people
Even
who don't like him.
yeah, even Gwen Stacy, I feel, or Spider Gwen
Yeah,
actually gets an okay rep from the fans. Like, yeah, she's fine, but we all prefer Peter Parker. I feel that's
yeah.
always the point.
So
Having the
yeah,
reason I say that is DC, I feel like don't try to change the cover faces. Like it's Wonder
we'll
Woman's
get to
Batman,
that.
Superman, Flash, and Green Lantern.
Yeah,
So I just want to say that I feel like they don't try to change, whereas the others do. But anyway,
we're gonna talk about her real quick just to give an idea of who she is, and then I will have a rebuttal for that works as a segue to what we want to talk about anyway. Um,
yeah,
America Chavez, also known as her moniker Miss America, is a fictional superhero appearing in the American comic books published by Marvel Comics. She first appeared in 2011, and she eventually joined the Young Avengers, which is a group of superheroes that most people don't particularly care about.
yeah,
Um, for the most part, her abilities are superhuman strength, speed, longevity, and durability, as with most superheroes. She can fly, she's invulnerable, she has star portal creation,
whatever,
star blast,
whatever. Yeah,
interdimensional travel, time
okay,
travel.
okay.
I don't
So
like
she's
this.
basically just a one man team. Why is she
Yeah,
with the Avengers? She can
she
do all
could
this too.
literally just fucking fix everything without any problems.
Yeah,
But to be
that's
fair, like she hasn't really appeared in many
much.
things really.
Yeah.
Um, so
Anyway,
that's her. But basically, you say that for DC, for the most part, like they keep their poster boys like Superman and Batman and everything. Be it as
yeah,
it may, in that regard, DC does it different than Marvel because Marvel they will like invent new characters that they will push on people and will find new way to like make their poster child. Like like America Chavez, they want the Miss Marvel Kamala Khan at some point was fucking everywhere. DC does the same thing, but instead of having new superheroes, they will have new people pick up mantles of existing superheroes,
yeah,
right? So, for instance, at some point there was the whole battle for the cowl in which Dick Grayson was pretty much made into Batman for a short while, but he was Batman for a while, and everyone was kind of okay with it. Then there was another arc where Batman was dead or lost, and it was Jim Gordon for some reason. Then it
yeah,
was Future State, and they were like, "Look, our Batman is black now. It's Luke Fox, I believe."
yeah.
Um, with Green Lantern, it's been a thing for a while. You've got Hal Jordan, you've got Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, you've got John Stewart, you've got Simon Baz, um,
Jessica
Jessica
Cruz,
Cruz.
a
Um,
lot of Green Lanterns.
there's a never-ending list, and with Superman, you know, almost a similar thing where Superman has apparently now fucked off and gone to somewhere in space, and on Earth it's now his son John Kent who is Superman, and
Yeah,
that's now essentially the poster boy for DC is John Kent as Superman. People will
yeah.
address him as Superman, and now when people tell me I don't like Superman or they say Superman's gay, one of those statements is technically correct.
So quickly,
Yes.
I think so. I think the thing is between Warner Brothers and DC. Well, I can agree that perhaps Warner Brothers do try to adapt the cover or poster boys of their comics. Marvel is very confrontational and in your face about it.
Yeah.
Like they push Camilla Khan, and then they've almost gone to that extreme state of like, if you don't like Camilla Khan, you're a racist and sexist.
Yeah.
Whereas like with DC, it felt like a very throwaway thing because it's like, oh yeah, John Kent is like bisexual. Bam. All right, moving on, and that was it. Like there was no real fuss or backlash. I didn't get any like sense of like people were against it or DC were like, here you go, be happy. It was just there. Tim Drake, I feel, was more the reverse. That
So
was what I felt.
I can tell you now, I did, because I wanted to form my opinion, which I told you, and I'll be honest, like my opinion ended up having nothing to do with any of the research I did. But I did go on to like Twitter, and there was a BBC broadcast bit about this as well, where they interviewed Tom Taylor and everything. And
Why?
people in the comments weren't very nice. Um, they did make it a big deal,
Yeah.
but the I'll be honest, like again, it will be divided in two camps every time. People who will
Yeah.
applaud this and say that this is one of the most important things that is happening in current history, and other people who say that,
3 camps. I'll tell you what the third one is
yeah,
in a
no,
bit.
no, you're right, sorry, you're right. People who say that this is like one of the most important things that are happening in current history. People who are saying that we live in the worst timeline and that things are stupid now and everything is bad and everything is propaganda. And people in the middle who are like,
We
yeah,
don't give a
okay,
shit.
okay.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Um,
So I
and
think you and I probably fit into the middle for this one.
mostly, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or at least I do.
I'll have to explain this. I am in the middle, but nudging towards not liking it.
Okay.
The reason for this is not because I'm a homophobe. That is a
I
different
think I know your
problem
reason.
altogether.
I think I know your reason.
Because I told you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. You did tell
Yeah.
me. I was thinking, was that you or someone else from work? But no, you're right. It is you.
My problem with it is that it is very much used as a marketing tool, right? The
It
whole
is.
idea that it's like, let's like make a character bisexual or even gay, because I don't actually know what John Kent's romantic history is. I don't really care, to be honest with you, but like, for the
Yeah.
sake of it, let's say he's bi. Let's say he's bi, right? It's very much just saying like, oh, he's going to have a boyfriend now.
Yeah.
If they really wanted, and the way it kind of, I don't want to compare it to this because it's not quite the same. But if you give me, like, if you bear with me, remember when Last Jedi was being marketed, and they made a
Mhm.
big deal about the porgs, right?
Okay.
And they're going like, oh, these are the cutest things. Like, here's porgs in the trailer, and you can buy like porgs and everything, and it's like very much like in your face of like, this is the cutest thing, and you're gonna love these guys. And my favorite scene involving porgs was the bit where Chewbacca cooked one. Um, and so that was one thing. But then with the Mandalorian, there was marketing, there was trailers for the Mandalorian, and Werner Herzog being in it, and Carl Weathers being in it. And in the first episode, the little crib opens, and you see the cutest little thing. And I was like, I'm on board with this. I like this cute little boy.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, it's because I wasn't consistently being told
Expect
by Disney. I wasn't expecting it. That's one thing, but also because I wasn't consistently being told by Disney that this is
Yeah.
like the greatest thing. So why couldn't they just like release the issue in which it happens and let it kind of, because apparently
Play
this
out.
character wasn't very old as well. Like this character, the boyfriend, was introduced like maybe one issue ago, in like issue 2.
Yeah.
And then the third issue is released, and then immediately they go like, oh, by the fifth issue they're fucking kissing and smooching and snogging. And it's like,
Okay.
why not just like let that naturally progress? Do you have to like rush to that, and do you have to like show everyone how progressive you are?
Yeah. I think here's also my 2 cents about it. Like, I think the thing is, it is a marketing tool, but I very much get the sense because where all these companies are, like the comic books and the film studios, they're all in Los Angeles, which, let's be honest, is very left wing, very liberal, very
Yes,
progressive
very much so.
as a state and as a city. I very much get the sense that some of the times, like, I don't know what it is about Marvel. I think it's just because the consistent fuck ups from them about doing it is Marvel like, you will like this or you're a bad person. Whereas DC, I've always gotten the sense, don't get me wrong, I don't think what they do is any better. But I very much get the sense like it's an appeasement strategy. It's like
Yeah.
to get the left wing liberals who are like, oh, you have to be inclusive off our backs. We'll make a new Green Lantern who's a black woman, or we'll make Jonathan Kent die, and we'll do that, and then we'll go to DC Dark Knight Metal and we'll
Yeah.
carry on. I very much get the sense that they throw these in here to say, look, you can't say anything. We've done it. Now let's get back to the story.
Yeah. Well, but what they also do in a way, which supposedly makes this better or something, I don't actually know, is like the whole thing with Superman, like one of the main things that I saw in the comments where people said like oh, they made Superman gay, what else are they going to do? Are they going to make like are they going to make Batman trans or something? And then people point out like it's not Superman, it's Superman's son.
Yeah.
To that I would say technically John Kent has taken up the mantle of Superman, and
Yeah.
Superman as Kal-El, I guess. I don't know if anything is actually being done with the character right now within the comics. So
I'm sure there is. Sure there is. There always
there
is.
probably is. There probably is. But given that, in the main continuity, it's John Kent right now.
Yeah.
So he is representative of Superman. He is Superman, right? Yeah. And because of that, it makes it more conflicting for me. Where it's like they can say they've made Superman gay and have an out by saying, well, it's not really Superman, but it is Superman. So it's like they can conveniently like swap out which one they actually believe depending on what the conversation actually is. And that is a little bit difficult for me to really be on board with.
I think
this is what I mean with it being a marketing tool.
I can kind of understand that, but far as I'm concerned, this is no different from Val Zod, who was Black Superman. Like, this is just an incarnation of a version of Superman that fits something else that people kind of maybe want, but doesn't necessarily take away from the original bearer of the mantle. Like, they haven't, like, for me, if
yeah,
my massive issue is if they had come forward and said we're making Clark Kent bisexual, I'll be like,
no,
no,
awful,
no.
awful.
Yeah, but yes, while they may have for marketing reasons found a way around, it's like, oh, you can't say we've made that decision because it's not him, it's his son.
Yeah,
I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, it's a bit of a sure, it's a marketing monetary move, but it's not one I'm invested enough to give a shit about. It's like,
I'm not gonna invest in it.
Yeah,
like it is what it is now. I'm not gonna kick a fuss over it necessarily. I'm just gonna say, well, he's not Clark Kent. You can do whatever you want with him, but then I'm not gonna like if they let's say let's put it this way. It's almost like an open deal with DC.
Yeah.
If they want me to accept that they have someone who is openly called Superman, who is gay, I can accept that.
Yeah.
If they can accept that he's not my Superman, that I will always see Clark Kent as the Superman. And also, if I can say, Val Zod is a different story because he's another universe. So by that, per default, they're already saying he's not the flagship character. He's a different universe in which this is possible, and to which I say, yep, that's cool.
I think the thing is, because here's the other part of it for me.
Right.
For one, people can say, oh, he's Superman now. John Kent is Superman. I'm like, the two things. One, where's Clark Kent? Oh, well, no one knows. It's like, oh, no one knows. You know what that means? What? He's going to come back.
He's going to come back. I mean, ultimately,
so I have no issue with it because it's not like them saying, we're done with Clark Kent. He's never going to be in the comics again. This is the new Superman you've got to deal with. It's like, no, he will return.
Yeah,
he always does.
It's like in 2013, was it, I think, where they said, oh, Wolverine's dead now, and he came back in like 5 years.
There you go. It's like, it just means like...
Yeah, or the numerous times that Batman died and eventually came back, and it's like Bruce Wayne is whatever.
Yeah, here's the thing. So, I'm going to ask this then. If they hadn't announced Jonathan Kent is bisexual before it had happened in the comics. And it wasn't like this big marketing thing. And it just revealed itself in the end, like, hey, the current Superman, who is John L. or Jonathan Kent, is bisexual. Would you still be as of I don't give a shit, but I'm somewhat against it, or would you be more in the middle of like I just don't give a shit?
I think I would be shocked initially,
Yeah,
like just kind of like, holy shit, they did that. But then I would be probably more inclined to like actually see if I can like find the comics online and try to like establish the journey from them meeting to them falling in love, and
yeah,
then make a more proper judgment saying, well, this is dumb because there was nothing really to really like they fall in love way too quickly for this to be of any point to me.
yeah,
Or it could be, yep, okay, they're in love, so they're both men, whatever, that's good on
yeah,
them. I think
yeah,
that's the main difference. That I think the fact that they've announced it like
yeah.
maybe 1 or 2 months after creating the character that he falls in love with is so is what really kind of like
Yeah,
makes it
I
weird for me, and make like triggers a couple of um like a couple of flags, not necessarily red flags, just saying, it's just calling them flags.
yeah, I think I can agree with you on that because I think ultimately in the end, I think stuff like this doesn't need to be announced at all.
No.
Like, why are there big panels of DC like here are all the list of bisexual and gay characters we have now? I mean, just going, why is there a panel for this shit?
Yeah,
No one cares.
no one
And if
cares.
they do, ask them if they read the comics. If they say no, then no one cares.
Exactly. Get more Jewish characters, not Batman. Just anyone else.
How would you feel if they announced Superman as Jewish?
Do you know
It will
what?
never. It will never happen. But if they did,
I'll be honest. I would find it amusing, and I wouldn't be particularly surprised because he very much like the way that he is like is. No, that's not true. He's fundamentally Christian. So yeah,
fundamentally,
no, I would be a little bit upset.
yeah,
I would feel like if it's another universe in which Superman is raised to be Jewish. Yes, that would be funny, and I would read that 100%. I would buy a hard copy, 100%.
if Warner Brothers, and you're going to know exactly where I'm going with this when I say it. Did Warner Brothers produce Curb Your Enthusiasm? I'm not Curb Your Enthusiasm. Jerry, the Seinfeld show.
That was NBC, so I think yeah, technically.
Bitch. Kal-El ship crash lands in New
In
York.
New York,
In
and Jerry
Seinfeld's apartment.
and Jerry Seinfeld
And
decides to raise
Jerry
him.
Seinfeld raises Superman.
I want to see that. I want to see that. And then Superman, instead of wanting to fight crime, he just wants to be a stand-up comedian.
You know when you're like flying and then you hit a plane and just the one's going, no, we
No one
don't
knows this
know.
feeling, Clark. That you just go
Clark
like,
Stein,
yeah,
Clark Steinfeld.
Clark Seinfeld. So, what's the deal with aliens? Where do they come from?
You are an alien. Yeah, but where did I come
Where
from?
did
You
I come
know?
from? What are the exact coordinates? Because the planet is blown. Yeah, I'll be honest. If
Honestly, if Warner Brothers are watching this, they're probably going,
they,
maybe. There's something here.
I'll be completely honest with you. If now they turn around and say Superman is / has always been Jewish, I will make it an issue, because the character, the
Has
character
always
is
been.
Jewish in terms of like creation and like the idea behind it. Because how could he not?
In
He's
terms
created.
of Yeah, in terms of the symbolism of who he is,
Yes,
he's a Jewish character.
because
But in terms
he's
of how he
created
was
by
raised,
Jews during the Second World War. Like how could he not be? That
yeah,
was the whole thing. In that sense, like other characters like Captain America and stuff like that are, well, Captain America wasn't created by Stan Lee, so that's a like thing. But like still, like in that way, yes. But when you look at the character and his values and his morals and like the way that he's been raised, fundamentally he is Christian,
Yeah,
and
which makes sense
it makes
considering the
sense.
whole. I think weirdly, I think that is actually to me, and I'll make this point weirdly to write it like saying it like, oh, comic book writers like during the 1930s and 40s were so much better than now. It's like, why would you say that? Because the guys that made Superman were Jewish and they made him Christian.
Yeah,
They made him fundamentally the most Christian
yeah.
American thing you can think of. And that's brilliant because they didn't care about like, oh, we have to make him Jewish for our representation. They're like, no, no, let's just make him Christian because it makes sense. You know, he crash
Yep.
lands in Kansas. You can't
I
get more Christian than Kansas.
It's true. I don't know if they made him Christian by like by design, but that's what he turned out to be over the years with the various writers that wrote for him, and
Yeah,
I'm perfectly happy with that. The
I
main
think
Jewish aspect about him is the idea
the
of like
symbolism of
him,
his character.
the symbolism of his character, but also his origin story, because it's
Yeah,
it's it's like Moses being floated down the Nile and being picked up by a native of the land that raised him as their own.
yeah.
That's
I
the
think
main thing. But that other than that, for all intents and purposes, like if you kind of try to compare him to any character in the Bible, he's more comparable to Jesus at that point. If
yeah, I
if
think
you
that's the thing. Of when because I remember that was one of your big issues with Snyder and his adaptation of Superman that he basically made him Jesus and Christian
he's
and
he's
fundamentally.
he's like Jesus, but he isn't.
That's the thing I've always kind of thought is like he isn't Jesus, he isn't Moses, he's both.
Yes.
He is fundamentally both characters at the same time. He comes from some world to a new one, but then he dies and he's resurrected. Like he is both characters rolled into one. I realistically, he's all biblical characters from both the Jewish religion,
Yeah. He's a
the Muslim
Judeo-Christian
religion, and
creation.
he is all of them in
Yeah.
some form or fashion. The whole point is Superman is like a god, so he symbolizes all the gods
Yeah,
of
but to
all
me,
religion.
like the thing is, I don't see Superman as like the savior of mankind, because I don't think that Superman even of himself thinks of himself that way.
No,
I think
he doesn't.
I think he sees himself as like the guy that he
Just a
can do
guy
a
who
job
wants to
simply
do the
because
right
he
thing.
feels the duty to do so.
Yeah, he's just someone who wants to do the right thing because he thinks it's what he should do.
Yeah,
Because if you notice, like the person who always points out, like you're some biblical character that people view as a savior, the guy who always points that out is Lex Luthor,
true.
his arch nemesis, his main villain. The
The
guy
Pharaoh.
who calls him a savior is his villain.
Yeah,
He doesn't call himself a savior.
yeah.
Fair, he's not an arrogant prick, so of course he wouldn't call himself mankind's
No,
savior.
of course, of course. Going back
Whereas,
to the comic stuff though,
yeah,
because we can talk about Superman for days without end.
yeah, that's
I
true.
think arguably a bigger shock, and I guess this one wasn't necessarily an announced one that actually just happened in the comics, was Tim Drake's thing. That
Yeah,
was way more upsetting,
yeah,
I'd say, because that's like an established character, and they turned him by for virtually no reason.
yeah,
Um, Tim Drake is probably one of the better Robins. I think they all have things that make them stand out as the best in something. But Tim Drake had the longevity in a way, and had the I say longevity, not really true, but he had like he had like a he made he's a Robin in his own right.
yeah.
Like I think a lot of people, like when they think about the Bat family to an extent, they'll think of Batman, Nightwing, and then Robin. And Robin in
Yeah,
that case is usually Tim Drake.
yeah.
Um,
Usually is, yeah. Having
yeah,
said that, I think Damian Wayne has kind of weaseled his way in there now these days to being the Robin that is thought of when there's Batman, Nightwing, and Robin. But Tim
I
Drake was the OG,
yeah
definitely at the start. Heavily, it was
yeah
him. But I think now Damian Wayne is kind of
yeah until he
rocked
decided
up
not to
the
be
role.
Not to be Damien, until he decided not to be Robin anymore, which
Yeah,
happened fairly recently as well.
sure. I always felt that was going to happen at some
That was
point.
always going to happen. Yeah,
They were always going to do an arc about that at some
yeah,
point
for complete
because they,
opposite reasons to Dick as well.
yeah, which I feel actually
Symbolic.
I yeah, it's very symbolic. And here's the interesting thing about going to the comic books, um, like with the whole Bat family thing.
Yeah.
I've never been a massive fan of Tim Drake because I've always kind of found him a bit boring. Like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's the perfect replacement for Batman because he's smart, he's intellectual, he's the investigator. Like, oh, great. So
And
the replacement for Batman is fucking Batman. Who
yeah.
would have saw that coming? Versus Dick Grayson, who's the wisecracking funny one, who
Yeah.
everyone just likes because he's the wisecracking funny one.
Yeah.
And Jason is the misunderstood kind of bad boy, which is also very likable. It's like he's misunderstood. He's
He's
not evil. He's
he's more
just
likable as not being Robin.
yeah. He's more likable as not being Robin because it's like he can openly state to people, it's like sometimes you need me to kill the bad guy because otherwise they keep coming back.
Yeah.
And then you've got Tim Drake who's like, I am Robin and I am just like Batman. And everyone goes, oh, I find people who like that Robin are massive hardcore diehard fans of Batman probably. But then there are other people who are like,
I think diehard fans of Batman just rather him be without a Robin, to be honest with you.
that's very true. That's
Or
very
they would say at the very most Dick Grayson, which is
yeah.
respectable. I
It's
really like Dick Grayson as a character. This is I will say, I did say that Tim Drake is one of the best Robins. As Robin,
Yeah.
yes. As Tim Drake, no, because now I think about it, he did have very little personality to go on.
That's the thing. Tim Drake is like a piece of blank paper.
You know
You're
what? I
waiting
don't.
for something to happen,
Yeah,
but no words are appearing on the page.
yeah.
That's
I
the
guess I
issue
don't
I have
mind
with
he's
it.
gay then, because he didn't really have a personality to begin with. So
He's
now he
he's
has
never been
one.
interesting.
Now he has
Yeah,
one.
now he's
I
got
guess.
it. Like that's the thing.
So I can
And
continue to not really care about him for completely
yeah.
homophobic reasons.
Because here's the thing: as much as Damien's, I feel controversial times because you either really love
Oh, I hate
Damien or
him.
hate him. I feel
Yeah.
you hate him.
I hate him as Robin. I don't necessarily hate him as a character, but as Robin, I can't really stand him often enough.
Weirdly, I like him as Robin, but when he's with John Kent,
Sure.
because I feel their relationship actually, and also when he was Robin with Nightwing, because I liked their relationship. Because John was the fun, like, hey, let's do all this with a smile, and Tim was like, I don't smile, and then I was like, I see what you did there. It's the exact same as like his
Yeah.
father, son. Like, oh, they're the same person. And then Dick Grayson, same thing. It's like, come on, Damien, crack a smile. And just Damien's like, I don't smile. It's like, like father, like son. I like that little
Yeah,
aspect. It's very much
that's
like,
fair.
you're just like your dad.
Yeah.
A little crazier, but just like your dad.
This is why Damien wasn't that good in the Batman versus Teen Mutant Ninja Turtles film.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of departed from that.
Yeah.
Like he was asking permission from Batman to have a slice of pizza.
Yeah. Like that was the wrong Robin to go with for that film.
No.
If they had made him more like OG Damian Wayne, where he was just confrontational with it, or was like, I don't trust.
I think if that would
good.
have happened, then instead of asking permission, then he would just go like, "No thanks, I don't eat that stuff," and then Batman would literally just give him a plate or something and just go like, "Eat, have fun."
Yeah, and then he's like,
even
fine,
Batman
probably.
would say like, "Have fun, come on."
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I personally like Damien just because I feel like he is a bit of a change of pace from the other three, because he is as intelligent as Tim. He is as ruthless as Jason, and as like the accompanying with Dick, there isn't much of that sort of element there with Dick, but I feel like that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That like he draws what I feel like he draws from Dick, he's drawing on like weirdly, and Damien will never admit to it. He does, I imagine, view Dick as the older brother he kind of needs.
Yeah.
He is, and that's the thing. Dick has taken on the responsibility of being the older brother to all of them very well.
Yes, absolutely.
Weirdly, a great arc would probably be where maybe a Tim Drake fucking hates Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson's like, why? It's like, you're always there for Jason. You're always there for Damien. It's like, have you seen the two of them?
They're fucked.
They needed me. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're boring.
He was there for Tim Drake as well, though.
He has been there.
He was there for everyone.
Yeah. He's always like weirdly, when Alfred's not there, Dick Grayson is the glue that keeps the family together.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Even in Injustice.
Even in Injustice, whatever. Oh, that was a film.
I still haven't seen it, and frankly, I just don't give a shit. I've never.
Yeah, I can honestly just give you an impression. It's different from the games and books. There's a couple of things that are basically the same, but a lot of deaths happen different. In the
Yeah.
end, everyone fucking hates Superman, which in the games didn't really happen. Like especially Wonder Woman, I didn't quite get because they
Yeah, because she
fucked up
turns
Wonder
on him at
Woman.
the end,
She
right?
turns on him.
She.
Basically, I think the only reason why she would like really helped him out is because she was just horny for him more than anything. She was like, "Oh, Lois is dead. This is my chance." And
Yeah.
then at the end of it, it's like, I thought you just killed one man. We can't kill more people." And it's like, you were the one who celebrated the whole killing thing. So why are you suddenly against it? Is it because he's not gonna bone you? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
I got that impression. I might be wrong, but that's the impression I got from it.
Like, yeah, I very much always got the impression that in the Injustice universe, I feel very, very much fucked up Wonder Woman's character. Like
Yeah,
they got her horrifically wrong because it very much felt like oh, Lois is dead now. I can jump on my crush until I like him kind of vibe.
yeah,
Whereas logically, in the comic books, if Superman snapped, one of the actual first people that would probably reason with him would be Wonder Woman because she may be willing to kill, but I always feel she is willing to respect the fact that Superman doesn't,
yeah,
and she admires him for it. With Batman, it's a different thing. She's like, you don't kill, but for you, it's childhood trauma. For him, it's self-restraint because of how powerful he is.
yeah. And I feel like,
Like Wonder Woman's
yeah,
always been more of a voice of reason in the comics for the League than most of the other characters usually are. Like she
yeah,
is one of the first people who kind of usually puts a foot down and says, "No, we can't do this."
yeah,
Whereas in the Injustice universe, that I've not liked. I'll be honest, I stopped being a fan of Injustice very quickly. I thought
yeah.
it
I
was
don't.
just
I think
it's
it's an
become very
interesting.
overhyped.
Yeah, I like the story of the games. The comics were good. I
The
didn't like
comics have some.
Injustice 2. I started disliking at some point because it wasn't really coming out that frequently anymore, and the stories
Yeah,
were just kind of going in a weird direction that was pointless. But that's Tom Taylor for you. Um,
yeah,
he's probably one of my least favorite writers right now. So here we are. Not because of anything other than his stories not being very good. Anyway, what I will
I
say.
feel like there's more there to that, but
No,
sure.
no, there isn't. I'm not a homophobe. Anyway, uh, in what I will say for DC is that there's some other stuff that they're doing right now that is looking pretty darn good. I don't know how much time we actually want to go on for, but if we just touch on a couple of them, we would do it injustice. So we have to really mention as much as possible. Oh come on! Oh come on!
Okay, so
Where do we
which do we
start?
start with? Where do we start with? Yeah,
Um,
I honestly don't know. All right, all right. You know what? We've been talking about Batman.
okay, let's talk about
Let's
Batman
start with
first.
Batman. You didn't like the trailer. I didn't
I
mind
didn't
it.
like the trailer.
I
I
knew the
don't.
moment I would see any comments from it, everyone would be fucking thirsty over it because they're all Batman fanboys and got,
And they are.
his dick up their asses. Yeah,
Yeah. But
but
I didn't like the trailer because for some reason I'm finding it difficult to see a trailer these days that is actually edited well. I don't know what it is, but it feels like they're all kind of shitty. Like their
you know
beats
what
are
it is.
off. Mm.
You know what it is. You were spoiled, like from phase probably two to phase like three of Marvel, where each trailer was pretty much a bang.
That is true. That is
Like
true.
we've been pretty spoiled over the years for trailers because Disney have been hitting out 10 out of 10, 10
Yeah.
out of 10. Like even with Star Wars, like the Last Jedi trailers were great,
Yeah.
and Force Awakens trailers were great. Rogue
I
One trailers were
hated their
great.
content, but they were very well edited.
Yeah, like ultimately in the end, I
Yeah.
think
So
it's weird.
I'll give it a pass. I'll give it a pass,
Yeah,
and you can look beyond the editing of the trailer and see what's actually the content of it, and the content of it looks really fucking cool.
because I think the thing is, I imagine the people who edit the trailers they've changed around? Because I imagine some of the people who edited the trailers are now editing the movies instead.
That generally
And they're
doesn't
getting
happen. What happens usually is trailers are usually commissioned to outside companies. So they're not the film editors don't do the trailers because they're just too busy for that.
yeah. No, I meant like whatever I
Yeah,
meant doesn't really matter. Um,
it's
but I feel
outsourcing.
like
It will
I
be like
feel
a
like
trailer company that does it for them.
I feel like either way, we're getting like a new phase of new editors for trailers at
Oh
these
yeah,
companies, and essentially they're all looking at the old ones, going, "Okay, what kind of made them cool? Dramatic music, cool shot, and
yeah.
that's it," without realizing what the actual substance of the original trailers
You
were that
use
made
the
them so
same
iconic.
Nirvana song over and over again. I actually like that song, so
Yeah, I do too. Actually, it's really
I
good.
don't know if I like that version over the original, but I like that song a lot, so it's fine. Um, what I
Having
will,
said that, I think actually,
yeah,
sorry, quickly, the Venom trailers were very, very good
that is true. I did like them a lot.
because I also thought the fucking one is the loneliest number
They
that
did
was a
that for the
fucking
first film as well, though, didn't
that was
they?
the perfect fucking song
Yeah,
for it.
it
But
is.
anyway, go back to the Batman trailer.
I will say it looked like they're going for kind of an Arkham vibe. Like it had like
Arkham Noir, yeah, which
yeah,
I'm
it looked
really
like it was
digging.
like Arkham Origins maybe,
Yeah,
which I like.
because I will say one thing I feel like they've done a little bit better for this one is they have made, at least from that trailer, they made Batman appear to be like this force
Yeah,
that is just unstoppable. Because the shot at the end where I think it's Penguin in the car that's upturned and he's just watching Batman approaching him from the fire. I'm like, that could have taken right out of a panel in a comic book
yeah,
and
absolutely.
making Batman seem like this entity that cannot be killed, cannot be slowed, cannot be beaten, and no matter what, you can't stop him, and he will get you,
Yeah,
and he will give justice to
it
this city.
depending on how they play it, that's really cool. But I do want to see a couple of shots later on where he like takes off his suit and he's completely bruised and shit.
Yeah, yeah, because we've never really gotten that from any of the films, really.
Weirdly, Justice
Justice
League,
League. Yeah, no, I would not say Justice League's the only one.
and I'm pretty sure it wasn't there in Snyder's cut. I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't. There you go.
Snyder
There you go.
fans, checkmate.
Yeah, that one scene changes the entire aspect of it.
No, but it
It
helps to
adds to it.
humanize. It helps to humanize Batman
Humanize.
because everyone is always saying like, oh, Batman is better than all the other superheroes because he doesn't have any superpowers. He has to use his wit and human fucking skills and stuff like that. But there's a price to being human, which is that you can't keep up with the other
And
superheroes, really.
the thing is, as well, the thing that you could argue humanizes it as well. And for this would be just a great panel to kind of actually make Batman fanboys shut up as well. Is that all this? Fair, it wouldn't. They would just make them fucking thirsty even more. But it would be better for us if Batman's. Someone questions like, "How do you have all these scars? I thought you were like unstoppable." And he's like, "No, every scar is a mistake I've made and I've learned from it."
Yeah.
It's like, and he's just got fucking hundreds of the bastards. It's like,
Oh
I've made
yeah.
a lot of mistakes, guys. I'm lucky to still be here. I don't know how I'm alive.
Yeah. Just him going like, look, I fuck up sometimes. That's what
Yeah,
being human is. That's what being human is. Now, if I could change that, by God, I would, but I can't.
except that they'll never do that. The more likely scene, because they'll want to fucking appease the Batman fanboys, is him going, "These are mistakes I've made and learned from, because I can't afford to make mistakes. Because if I do, someone die."
Oh God, no,
They'll do that.
so
They'll
fucking
fucking do that.
dramatic, so fucking
It's
dramatic.
Batman's such a dramatic piece of shit. Having said that, I'm looking forward to his next movie.
I'm looking forward to that film.
I'm annoyingly looking. You know, actually, part of the reason why I'm really looking forward to it is, you know what the miraculous thing is? I watched the whole trailer and I realized, wait, Joker's not in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
It's a film with
It's,
other
it's a
villains.
fucking miracle. It's the Riddler as well, which is
Yeah,
like,
which
who would ever make a film with the Riddler? It's amazing.
apparently fucking Jim Carrey is the Riddler. Is the only
Okay, well, no, that's
action,
not what I meant.
the only
Like,
live action Riddler we've ever gotten in any movie. Let that sink in.
yeah, that's true.
Actually, no, that's not true. I think there was one in the '66 Batman, wasn't there? 1966.
There
But
was
that
in the
was,
show, but not in the film. I don't
I
think.
think there was in the film, wasn't there?
In the film, it was. Oh no, you're right.
There was
It was Penguin, it was Joker, it was Catwoman, and it was.
Riddler, Penguin, Joker,
Oh, you're right.
Riddler,
You're right. You're right.
Batman.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Having said that, the reason I don't fully count that is because he was working in a massive ensemble piece
Yeah.
with villains. So whereas
Yeah.
now he's finally getting the spotlight. Like this is his like I'm the big bad of the film,
Yeah.
which
Exactly.
is really really good.
Do you
Because
do you think he's gonna show up in the Flash?
Riddler,
Yeah. No. Batman. Robert Pattinson.
you mean maybe
Maybe.
that is an interesting thing. We'll talk
He
about the
probably
Flash in a
won't. He
second.
probably won't. But
We'll talk
yeah.
about the Flash in a second because
Yes.
that's got a lot to unpack.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Batman, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to it, but it's not the one I'm most excited about because it's Batman. We're always going to get Batman like every 5 years at this point.
Exactly.
Like
It's gonna be what
uh,
it's gonna be.
when we get something new, that's when I'm excited. Having said that, I want to start with the stuff that isn't going to be new because I feel like it's the easiest. The one I want to save for last.
Sure.
It's a fucking daisy. Actually, there are two, and both have wrestlers in it.
Oh yeah. Great.
Aquaman.
I didn't actually see anything for it, but except for behind the scenes footage.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like
all
it's
they
cool.
released.
I mean, we could go into this whole conversation of like, oh, should Amber Heard be in it? But I don't really want to talk about that, to be honest with you. I've
First
done
and
that to
foremost,
death.
like I really don't give a shit about it. In all honesty, like if Warner Brothers do it, fine, fucking whatever they do it. I the reason I don't really want to fucking kick up a fuss about it is ultimately because well, I can't. Us telling them that we don't like it isn't going to change anything. So I might as well just sit down and go.
I just want them to know that it's Warner Brothers, right? That
Yeah,
had both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp under their employ. And I think it's like in a case where both sides are accused and one side
you
seems to
gotta.
be mostly exonerated, they booted only one of them,
Yeah,
and the other one is still good to go because they like her. So
yeah,
that's my main thing that I have against it.
yeah,
Um, but that's all I really want to say about it because I've talked about this to death with people, and it's like, you
yeah.
know,
That's fair. Anyway,
most people seem to be kind of in agreement that it's a weird move.
yeah. For me, it isn't a fully weird move because I kind of understand because whatever Johnny Depp was doing with them, it's not Aquaman, which is going to be one of their big blockbuster moneymakers. So I
Yeah,
understand it from like the monetary point of view. It's like they don't want to bother recasting someone for a role that's very important in a movie that's very important for them. But anyway,
yeah.
moving on though to I guess what Shazam?
Let's
No,
talk about Shazam.
let's talk about Shazam. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
only really behind the scenes stuff was revealed.
Yes, but
Nothing
just
concrete.
shots of him and the Shazam family. That gets me
That
going.
the fucking two new villains. Actually, I want.
Yeah,
What's it called? Shazam: War of the Gods or something?
Fury of the Gods,
Fury of the.
with also Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as the villains, like gods essentially.
I want to. I want to know if they actually have the name of the gods on the cast list yet.
They probably do, to be honest with you.
Oh, so Helen Mirren is playing Hespera.
Yeah,
Never heard of her.
she's a goddess of
Lucy
a
Liu.
sort.
Yeah, Lucy Liu's playing Calypso.
Sweet, I like that.
So this is how they bring in Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, Calypso is an established character in. Oh, you're
Yeah,
fucking with me.
yeah, fucking.
Yeah, okay. Uh,
I'm gonna Google Hespera though, because I want to know who she is.
Hespera is
Hespera.
it,
Greek spirit of immortality.
yep.
Greek mythology is or Spiritus or Spiritia are the nymphs. Nymphs. No? Oh, no. Helen Mirren, yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm digging it. I like it. I think it's gonna be fun. But
Yeah,
yeah, it
there's not much to say about it, but I like it.
yeah, it's just gonna be I'm glad to see that the Shazam family's back because that was one thing I was kind of curious about whether or not they were going to bring back, or if it was just a one-off, just to sort of kind of do it. But I'm glad that it is the Shazam family. It's not just Shazam.
Yeah,
Quick
absolutely.
question: do you think they're going to do the tiger now?
Oh, yeah. Talkie Tawny.
It's like a little ginger cat, and it's like,
No.
take my hand and go meow.
Yeah.
Meow.
Becomes tiger. I would love to see that. But I think they need some time to like get it done. What I do see is that it is pretty much oh, this is the wrong page. My bad, hang on. So it's still David F. Sandberg directing it. Written by someone else, it's Henry Gayden. I hope he's any good, but Sandberg is really cool.
Yeah.
I like Shazam, the first one, and it's still produced by The Rock as well. So good shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be really good.
One thing actually, sorry.
Yeah.
Going back weirdly, kind of interlacing it with this topic of like the whole how they introduce characters and their sexualities. Still think Shazam has done it the best out of one of the times.
I was just thinking about that. Did they though?
I mean, well, when he comes out of the strip club, he's like, not my thing, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't think that's indicative of anything. You can be straight and dislike strip clubs. I think it's frankly, I think it's a bit
Wrong.
what?
Ron, you're smarter than that. You know exactly what they were doing. It's the modern world. It's the liberal 21st century. We all know what it meant.
If they do it in this film where they like make it obvious and like explicitly say so, then yeah, fine. I don't like I'm happy with that, and I think it's a funny way to like out him in that way. But I think it's like if not, and if that's never really explored further into it, I think it's weirdly homophobic to say that, because it's like, oh, you don't like strip clubs or what you see in there? What, you gay? You know, it's just a weird assumption at that point. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
If he is, I don't mind. In that case, then yes, it is a funny reveal. But to just kind of assume off of that he is,
I don't know. I feel like
I felt like it was a throwaway joke more than anything.
I mean, it is a throwaway joke in the end, ultimately.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he were to just like the only alternative is like if he had come out of the strip club and said, not my thing, and someone goes, really? It's like, oh yeah, I'd rather have a more meaningful relationship. That just doesn't seem like my thing. It's like, there you go. Because I feel like that would be a better way of doing. Anyway, whatever.
Anyway. Maybe he's just poor. Whatever it is,
Well, he can't afford going to a strip club.
It costs a lot of money.
Basically, the only three people who don't like strip clubs are people who like meaningful relationships,
poor people,
or poor people.
Yeah. So if you have a hopeless, romantic, poor gay man, they have really nothing to look for. Maybe the buffet. I don't know. Like American strip clubs sometimes have like a nice little buffet thing. But I don't know how they really feel about wings. Anyway, let's move on. There's more stuff.
What else did they reveal at DC Fandom other than the other three things?
There's several.
Suicide Squad, the game.
It looks like it could be a fun story, but there was really no gameplay revealed, so I still don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah. Going to the other DC game then, Gotham Knights.
Have no opinion.
No opinion.
I don't particularly care. It looks like they're just making an Arkham game, but it's co-op. It could be good.
Arkham
it could be
game is co-op, but without Batman, which weirdly kind of like.
Yeah, as long as people just let me play Nightwing, I'm good.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So,
what else did they have? Oh, a friend of mine did mention that they announced a new Batman TV show called Caped Crusader.
Yeah.
I didn't catch much of it, but as far as I understand, it's just like a spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series, with mostly the same people behind it as well. If that's the case, I'm 100% down for it. Because I did like the animated series. I think it is probably one of the best Star Wars Batman media out there. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I'm just checking if they have a bit of a cast list or anything, but no. It's apparently produced by J.J. Abrams as well, which is sick. But I hope he doesn't fucking ruin it. Oh, and Matt Reeves as well. Okay, well, this could be interesting. This is a weird one,
That was a weird one.
but I like it.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Now all I'm getting is just the fucking opening to like the Clone Wars, like dun, 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 and it's just the Batman symbol though, and just going Batman in the
Yeah, my
Clone
bad.
Wars. Wait,
My
no, yes, the
my
Clone
bad.
Wars.
Look, I slip up sometimes.
Anakin Skywalker with Batman on the same screen,
It's
dramatically
J.J.
talking to each
Abrams.
other.
It's J.J. Abrams. I'm my head's all over the place. Anyway, what else was there? The Young Justice, and not only did they reveal the first 4 minutes of the show, they actually released 2 episodes there and then.
I'm so annoyed I haven't found a way to watch it.
Watch it. I told you how. I'm not gonna say it on the stream because I'm pretty sure it's illegal.
Then send it to me.
Okay,
You told
I
me
will do.
where, but I don't know where that thing is.
Okay,
I
I'll
don't
send it to
remember.
you. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. But
What else? Super Pets.
yeah,
That looks
I'm
fun.
looking forward to that because
Keanu
what
Reeves.
you've. Oh yeah, who's Keanu Reeves in it?
I don't know. I don't think they've actually revealed that yet. Wait,
Well,
Super
you know,
Pets.
yeah,
I mean, The Rock's in it. Kevin Hart's in it. They are a good duo. I like them. John Krasinski, Kate McKinnon, Jamila Jamil, who was in fucking Good Place.
yep.
Diego Luna, who was in Star Wars,
They haven't revealed much. They've
and
only
Mark Marone
revealed.
as Lex Luthor. Ooh, have I got a bone to pick with him? Anyway, um,
I see what you did there. Funny.
oh, he's actually playing Lex Luthor, so he's not actually an animal in this. Oh, and Vanessa
Yeah,
Bayer, who was in SNL, I think.
yeah.
Not that I like
So
SNL, but just an observation. Um, what else was there? There was so much stuff. Um,
I'm gonna just look up DC fandom.
More Teen
DC
Titans Go stuff. I'm sure. Who cares?
fandom.
I'm trying to not talk about the stuff that you want to desperately keep for last.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure. The other stuff, I think
did they do anything for Superman and Lois?
they just announced there was going to be season 2 and did like a walk around like the
Fine.
the God, it's these I hate
They
the
did like
DC
a
stuff.
15-minute bit about Wonder Woman, which was really boring to watch
Yeah,
because it wasn't
but I
actually.
wouldn't have minded if they had just announced the next film and what would happen or who would be the villain or whatever. But
No, instead
they
they were
just
like,
didn't.
"Hey, she's very inspirational. Be
And I'm
inspired."
like, yeah, no shit. That's like telling us a teapot is for tea. Oh, we already know this shit. She's an
Yeah,
inspirational.
we've already been told about this several times.
So they've done stuff for what the Batman, Gotham Knights, Harley Quinn, uh, Titans. I
Apologies.
think the next season of Titan,
Yeah, we knew that was gonna happen.
Batwoman, don't care. Batwing. Oh, there's gonna be I think either a Catwoman animated film or Catwoman animated series, which
Yes,
looks
with thingy. Um,
yeah
she was in the girl from Victorious.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I'm
forgot her name.
I'm
It
intrigued by
it'll be
that.
fine.
Not
I'm sure it'll be
not
fine.
super excited, but I'm intrigued. A bunch of stuff for CW, which let's be honest, no one really gives a shit about
No, it's
anymore because
garbage.
everyone's caught on that it's hot garbage and we shouldn't give a
Milestone
shit about it.
Media.
The only thing people oh no, there is one thing I want to talk about. So DC fandom revealed one of their next big hit shows, I think, is simply called Naomi. Did you see anything about this?
No.
So their reveal for this new character was that she is just simply sitting in an art class or whatever, learning, Something happens. She gets up. She runs outside. She has an asthma attack, and she passes out. And as her eyes begin to fade and close, Superman flies above her. And that's it. That's all they showed. That's like similar to here's Miss Marvel. What are we going to talk about? Oh, that Miss Marvel's a Pakistani Muslim girl growing up in New Jersey.
Yeah, that sounds
They
pretty boring.
they revealed nothing about the show, who she is. The slew of comments were just so amusing. It's like, yes, the girl whose superpower is to pass out from an asthma attack. We all know her well. Like,
She's
touche.
producing, a new CW series based on a best-selling comic book from Brian Michael Bendis, if you say so.
Sure.
Chat with Candice
It,
Patton
it
about the
looked,
upcoming.
honestly, it
Candice
looked
Patton,
dead.
what was she in? The name rings a
Candice
bell.
Patton. 1 second, let me Google. Fucking.
Oh, okay. So they actually So I have a list here of everything that that was revealed in order of when it was revealed.
Yeah.
So
Candice Patton's Iris West from the CW Flash show.
Okay, so I guess
I thought she was familiar. I thought that was her, but I wasn't sure.
Okay. Weird, but okay.
I don't give a
So
shit.
I'm just reading here. Apparently, they're going to make shows based on Milestone Media assets, which means that we might get a revival of the Static Shock show, which would be really cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
As well as Icon and Rocket. But I don't know if this is like a Milestone animated feature in development by Warner Brothers. New seasons for Stan. Oh, never mind. So they're making a Milestone animated feature, and then also new comic books for Static, Hardware, and Icon and Rocket, which is fine. You know, Rocket is in Young Justice anyway, so she has a platform. I see something called Superman and Beyond. Oh, my Adventures with Superman, which looks meh.
That's meant to be the next animated thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't look that interesting, to be honest with you. Looks a bit off.
Yeah.
Doom Patrol new season. The Sandman, which
basically just
whatever.
a bunch of stuff that none of us really are interested in. So now I think
Blue
we've
Beetle,
both agreed that nothing here is interesting. Let's get to the
Gotham
hot stuff.
Knights. Hang on, I'm pretty sure that there's Batwoman. Who cares?
You can keep looking.
Catwoman Hunted is an animated feature.
Oh, okay, I thought it would be.
Harley Quinn gets a new season. That's pretty interesting. I like that. I like that show.
I mean, I saw it coming anyway. But...
Yeah, but I appreciate that it happened.
Last thing, most of DC fandom was either, by the way, guys, all the stuff you don't really care about, or you do, we're renewing it for another season.
Yeah, literally. Cool. Let's talk about the things that do matter then.
Yeah, let's talk about the new stuff.
Okay.
Which we already kind of did at the beginning, but
so let's
talk about Flash. First things first.
I want Flash. I want to watch Flash. I want to watch it
right now.
Flash
looks so good.
It looks like... Basically, there are people who are saying that this is going to be a similar film to No Way Home, but better. DC fanboys, I don't believe it for shit. However, the cast list, right? You've got Ben Affleck as Batman. You've got
Back as Batman properly.
He's back as Batman. Michael Keaton as Batman. Tamara Morrison as Tom Curry. Why is he in this?
Who?
Aquaman's dad. He's in this apparently.
Because why the hell not?
Why the hell not? You've got fucking who else? Oh, Sasha Calle as Supergirl, as was revealed a while ago, and the rest doesn't really matter. They're just people.
Yeah.
Oh, Rudy Mancuso, who's like a fucking... Wasn't he on Vine or something? Like one of those annoying... Anyway, the trailer was amazing.
Doesn't reveal much.
It was amazing still.
It was still amazing because it revealed the fucking new Flash suit, which...
Very nice, very nice.
Love the new 52 look.
Two Flashes.
A Supergirl. Gave a brief glimpse of Supergirl, whether this is Superman's daughter or proper Kara Zor-El. Who knows? But
Who
either way,
knows?
she should be fine and should be good. And then obviously we got the man, the myth himself,
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Oh, that was good.
Jesus.
That was
That was
so good.
that was so
I
good.
can't wait to watch it because this is probably like the DC film that I'm looking forward to the most.
Really ahead of. No,
Film,
no, I give that to you. I
film,
give that to
yes,
you.
film, yes.
Film, okay, fair
Overall,
enough.
maybe not, but that's
Yeah,
for very different reasons.
fair enough.
But film, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
It looks
I think
incredible.
it does look incredible. I think it's going to be great. Unless there's anything we can quickly think about, talk about Flash. Let's move on to
I can't
the
think
one
of anything.
I know you're most looking forward to, Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
It looks so
It looks so
stupid,
great,
which is why I love it. It looks
dude.
great because it looks just the best part of just like, Dad, quickly take a picture. I would get my phone, but I don't want to move.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And it's got fucking, John Cena as Peacemaker. Who else is in this? You've got
Vigilante's in this,
Vigilante.
which I didn't expect, and I'm actually kind of intrigued to see how
He's
that
so
goes.
good in it, though. He's so great as that character. He's not
Yeah.
mentioned in the IMDb list for some reason as casting.
Probably because they've only just revealed a
But
bunch
the
of
fucking
stuff.
the fucking eagle is so good.
The Eagles.
I loved it so much.
There's nothing more American than an eagle hugging John Cena.
Oh yeah, and it's
The only thing
produced.
more American is if Captain America was standing there with an eagle perched on his arm. That would be the only other more American thing.
That is,
But
yeah, and it's also produced, predominantly written and directed by James Gunn. So you get the Suicide Squad quality.
yep, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be amazing.
Great.
I genuinely think that even if it's bad, it's going to be very enjoyable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Much like the next thing we're going to talk about. The best for last.
Black Adam.
Black Adam.
I have an I may have a somewhat controversial opinion for you. I don't think it's going to be bad. I don't think it'll be great. I don't think
it's
it'll
going to
be
be
the
bad
best
either.
thing, but I think it'll be good.
I think if it is awful, it will still be amusing.
Oh,
So it
absolutely.
doesn't matter if it's bad or not.
Let's be honest. You look at the Rock's slew of movies. Even Tooth Fairy is
Yeah,
a lot of fun to watch. That says a
exactly.
lot about the Rock and his ability to make any movie like a fucking even Jungle Cruise,
Maybe
which
Doom.
is a no. Doom is still a fucking great.
Okay, fair enough.
I still love Doom. Having said that, the only film of his I've watched and gone, is Jungle Cruise.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's very much because it is a Disney ripoff of basically them trying to make Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the reason why I think this is going to be good is because, once again, The Rock has basically produced it just like he's produced the Shazam films. And you can tell he really cares about this project.
Oh yeah.
Really wants it to work, which is why I think it's going to be really, really good.
And let's not forget one of the greatest highlights is fucking Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate.
Oh, that's brilliant casting choice.
I think it's
Fucking
amazing.
stellar. Because I would always been sitting there going, who would I have gotten to play Dr. Fate? And I would never have thought of it. Never. And then they just fucking hit me with that. I'm like, you nailed it.
You nailed it.
You fucking nailed it.
Dead on. That's what we want.
And let's be honest, the little they revealed
was cool.
Is brilliant. Like, because it's tense, it's airy, it's everything kind of Black Adam is. Because let's be honest, in the comic books, you kind of know who he is, but they're not really ever done a massive amount with him. Not really. He's always just kind of been there to be the guy that Shazam fights, and that's it.
Yeah.
But now they're really actually going to give him a bit.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's always been really mysterious. Like, they can do a lot with him.
Yeah. So
like I said, there is a lot to do with him. But anyway.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, this has always been kind of part of a plan that The Rock had. Is basically he so initially, the question was whether he was going to play Black Adam or Shazam, because he was offered both roles, right? It was up to him which one he wanted to do. he decided that for him, doing Black Adam makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Right? Which looking at it,
respect.
yeah, absolutely. I think
And
if he
respect.
played Shazam, it would have still been entertaining, but he wouldn't look the part, which is the unfortunate kind of truth behind it. But the plan was always you make a Shazam film to kind of introduce the world, then you make a Black Adam film, and then you have
to
them
introduce
fight.
the big bad, to introduce the villain.
Yes. So I'll be honest, Shazam 2, while it probably is going to be great, is a bit of a placeholder. Because the real thing that it's building up to, and when you look at Godzilla vs. Kong, it's no different in the way it's built up. You got Shazam, Shazam 2, and you got Black Adam, and then Shazam vs. Black Adam. That's the next film after both of these.
Yes.
That's exactly the same, isn't it? That's weird.
It's exactly the same, actually. Yeah, so what, you've got Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Fury of the Gods, Kong Skull Island, Black Adam. You've got...
It's both Warner Brothers.
Sorry, cue the fucking meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. All the red lines.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh. Fucking mind-blowing theory then. Once Shazam is finished, he returns and he's like, I've saved the multiverse. Henry Cavill's Superman lands. He's just like, Flash, I need your help. What were the... Looks up. There's just Godzilla.
No,
and just Flash going,
what
have I done?
How much can you cram in one universe? That'd be crazy. I'm for it, but it's crazy.
Warner Brothers look at Marvel like, you're bringing that into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You're bringing this to we'll do you one better. You're gonna do one better than bringing all the Marvel properties together. Yeah. Have Godzilla fight Superman, and just like, you can't do that. That's not DC. It doesn't matter to us.
Doesn't matter.
We don't care. That's how desperate we are.
We need money. We need it now.
Need money. We need money, and we need to beat you. This is how we'll do it. We will cheat.
Yeah. Oh man.
You know what? Watch this. A Universal, how do you feel about doing like a Jurassic Park and fucking Fast and Furious crossover with fucking Godzilla and
wait, wasn't that a plan?
Casey?
Didn't they at some point say like we want to have a crossover between Fast and Furious and Jurassic Park? I think I heard this somewhere.
Please no.
I'm not even kidding.
No. This was a joke.
Hang on. Oh. I don't remember.
If they had, they'd probably go, we should do that. And just imagine they just get a phone call from Spielberg going, no. You don't do that.
I am sad or happy to report that I don't exactly misremember this. The director basically said about when he was asked, he said, "I've never
director from which one?
For Fast and Furious."
Yeah, makes sense.
Has said, "I've never said never to anything, and the fact that part of our philosophy is not to ever be boxed in or labeled, and that's all I will say." So he didn't say no. He didn't say yes, but he didn't say no.
That's basically him saying, if Universal asks me to do it, I will do it.
To be fair, if I was him, fucking why not? They're gonna make the film anyway. May as well make it a fun ride.
That's the thing, because I'll be honest, I imagine they would have gone to the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World directors and said, would you like to do it? And they just would all have gone, no, it's stupid. And of course Spielberg. They go to the fucking stupid director for the stupid franchise to ask him to do the
god, stop
crossover.
Hammering. He's not a stupid director.
It's bad. I want you to know how much I think it's bad.
Oh my god. Okay, we're on this again.
You can...
Whatever, man.
You're just lucky that there isn't a fucking massive comment section just going, no,
there's no one here. There's no one here. It's just us.
It's just us.
Today.
You can love it. I love my bad films. You love your bad films.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
For example, I actually don't mind. The more and more I think about it, the more I realize I don't mind Last Jedi, to be honest.
Okay, well.
There you go.
That's your opinion.
There you go, see? And you like Fast and Furious. And That's your opinion.
Yeah, and some of us just happen to be right.
Nice. Wow. And I'm the arrogant one.
No,
Fucking hell.
I've always been the arrogant one. I just don't see
That's
why other people don't see it.
it's like, man, Guy's got such an arrogant prick. It's like, no, Guy's just annoying. Ron's the arrogant prick.
Guy's just obvious in his arrogance,
Guy's
whereas
an obvious
Ron,
arrogant
like
prick. Ron's the
half the stuff he says is just a fucking joke. So how can we like take anything seriously from what he says?
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
But anyway, going
yes,
back to, I'm just so Black Adam. I'm just so excited for.
I
There's
am.
nothing I can't think about that is not made me not excited for this film. In all honesty,
Yeah,
uh,
when is it coming out actually? July.
next year.
Yes.
That's like only however long.
Yeah, that's
like
only,
okay,
I don't know, like 8 months,
yeah, roughly.
something like that, maybe 9.
I'm now gonna have that fucking thing from like I need to figure out a way to get that thing from like the Grinch, like Jim Carrey's The Grinch, where it's like only 300 days till Christmas, but like only 300 days till Black Adam. Just playing on my TV every day I wake up. It will just be there, and it'll say the day. I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
one day down, one more to go, and another one to go. I think we briefly talked about it. I think at this point, I was willing to admit that I think DC and Marvel have kind of tied this year for content.
yeah.
I think after Venom,
I
Marvel have
think.
pulled slightly ahead again, but only
Mm,
slightly still.
I think in terms of like the actual films that are coming out this year, Marvel has won. But then again, the competition wasn't very fierce because
What even from DC came
no,
out
that's
this
not
year?
even true. Like so, I keep forgetting this. So from DC, there was
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
That's it.
That's it.
And to be fair, as an only film, it's a
It's
pretty good
very
one to have
strong. It's
against
very
everything.
strong.
Very strong.
So I'm trying to think of what else.
So
I mean, if you want to count it, Zack Snyder's Justice League came out this year, which isn't particularly helpful.
yeah,
Um,
that could
Wonder Woman was last year, I think.
last year, December last year.
Yeah.
So just
And then that's it. I don't think any
that's it.
other
So
DC
let's
film
put
is
it this
actually.
way:
Hang on, I want to confirm
DC.
this.
Actually, I'm gonna check as well next year for DC. What is coming out
I
next
want
year
to
for
check for
DC?
this year to make sure
Exactly.
that I'm not actually forgetting anything. No, it's just the Suicide Squad.
DC.
So it is a very strong. So literally, depending on how strong Spider-Man really is, if Spider-Man is as good as I hope it is, it like Marvel wins.
Yeah.
Because Marvel has some stinkies. I'll be the first one to admit. Um, you know, Black Widow wasn't that great. Shang-Chi was okay at best, and I have no hope for the Eternals.
Yeah. So, next year for DC, we have DC Super Pets. That's slated for October next year
Yep.
or May next year. That makes no sense.
No.
Batman is March next year, March 1st. Aquaman is meant to be December next year.
Yep.
Flash is November next year. Black
Yep.
Adam is July next year. And here's one that I've just seen that we've
Batgirl.
heard nothing about. Yeah, Batgirl.
Yeah, I see that on the list as well. Don't know what the fuck that
How
is
did this just get under the radar? How did no one know?
because no one cares.
No, yeah, no one cares.
It's just such a shit show of a pre-production thing where no one even knows what's going. So the problem, I think, what the problem is with it is that it was meant to be
Joss
directed by
Whedon,
Joss Whedon. The problem
and
is
then
they might not have Joss Whedon directed because of all the allegations against him.
yeah, no, the current director is Adele El Arabi, and
That can't go well.
by Baila Bal between these names. I'm so sorry.
Let me
Basically,
look.
two
Adil
two
El Arbi
Arabic
and
names.
Bilal
I'm
Fallah.
sorry to yeah, Dioba.
Okay. Who are they and what have they done?
No idea.
Bad Boys for Life. They're the
He
guys who did Bad Boys. Okay, well this film is gonna fucking slap then.
The immediate turnaround. The moment you said they did Bad Boys, I was like, I know where this is going. It's gonna slap. It's like, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Because here's the thing. I'll say this.
That film was really
I
good.
know there. I know you should never do this, judge a book by its cover, but the poster actually makes the film look like it might be an interesting, like, thing.
I haven't actually seen the
Like,
poster for it, so I don't know.
actually, fair, it might just be a fan poster, but either way, I like the moment that it's like Batgirl movie just has the fucking Batgirl from Batman and Robin images immediately, and I just think, oh god. I'll admit, actually, that's a film I enjoy watching, Batman and Robin, just because I love watching how bad it is. That's the only
Yeah,
reason.
that's the sad thing, by the way. Batman and Robin, even with everything that's going on, is not canon.
Oh, you mean with Flash?
With Flash, yeah, it's not canon, unfortunately.
The Flash shows up and he's going,
Yeah.
Flash, what? Freeze!
Freeze.
Nah, Arnold Schwarzenegger returns as Victor
I would
Freeze.
love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that. But I
Oh,
don't think
there'd
that's
be
gonna
such a
happen.
great moment where it's like, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! And Flash goes, no. Goes, what do you mean? It was a meteor. Are you telling me I'm fucking wrong? Do not tell me I'm wrong. I am the Freezenator.
That's not very nice of you.
You just need to chill. Let's break the ice. What a bad movie. What a great movie.
So other than that, like I don't. So that's pretty much it for next year. Whereas Marvel has several films. It's got Doctor Strange. It's got
One good.
Yeah, hang on. I can't do this off the top of my head because I looked at it earlier and it's just like a bunch of
You're never going to be able to do it off the top of your head.
MCU. And then
MCU
go to I'll jump to feature films. So we've got Doctor Strange, we've got Thor, which is probably going to be meh, but we'll still have a bunch of good casting stuff.
You know what? So, I will withhold any judgment because I was in the end ultimately wrong about Ragnarok. I'm man enough to admit it.
That's fair enough.
Until I see a trailer.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Until I see the trailer. If it is purely Jane Foster is clearly the lead, then yeah, I will agree.
I'll be honest, as far as I have understood from like behind the scenes stuff and like actors talking about their on-set experience, it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. Because cool. You know, hearing Chris Hemsworth talk about it and Taika Waititi and Chris Pratt, like they seem all very like positive about it.
Yeah. Black Panther as well next year.
We'll see how it goes, and that's it. Because the Marvels was meant to be next year, but then has been pushed back.
Yeah. So what you have: Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Thor: Love and Thunder. I think that's actually not. That's going to be a decent year for Marvel. I feel
it's going to be a decent year, and we haven't even discussed the Disney Plus shows.
That's an interesting. Sorry, this is an interesting note. I think this is the first time for a long time
that they're finally neck and neck.
No. DC has more movies coming out than Marvel.
Yeah.
That's not happened for a really long time.
So this is the MCU, right? I don't know about anything else. It would be tough to do anything else because the only non-Marvel MCU films at this point would be
X-Men.
No, that would be MCU.
Oh yeah, it would be what
Sonyverse.
The Sonyverse, which is what just Spider-Man stuff, really.
Like if they were to do Mobius, then that, but Venom couldn't really work.
Yeah,
because that would be MCU at this point.
I mean, to be fair, Mobius could end up being MCU as well.
He could be. That was never actually specified, so it could very well be.
Yeah, but even then, that's what an extra 1 or 2 films, and DC have what 1, 2, 3, 4 major ones, and then Batgirl and Super Pets. As much as I will love Super Pets is not going to be one of the big flagship films.
No, not by any way.
Can we just admire the fact that The Rock is starring in 2 DC films next year?
Yeah, I like that.
That's fucking amazing to me. One of which he plays one of the most iconic villains in DC. The other of which he plays the most iconic superhero's pet. Amazing. Only The Rock could do that and be amazing.
Electrifying even.
And this all
Oh,
confirms after
Morbius.
the.
Morbius is actually next year, so there you go.
Oh, there you go. So what? 4 Marvel films versus what? Roughly 6 DC.
It's coming
That's
out in January. Oh well,
okay.
that's gone over my head entirely. But
Yeah, it
also,
doesn't look great.
if you look at TV shows, DC has Peacemaker and the CW stuff and Pennyworth and whatever you have with that. Marvel has Miss Marvel. Moon Knight could be good
Moon Knight could be
with
good. Yeah.
with Oscar Isaac. She-Hulk could be good. Secret Invasion is going to be interesting at the very least.
Yeah.
And the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Yeah.
Which is not a TV show, granted, but still looks to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because how wrong could it really go?
So I think we should wrap things up with one final thing.
Yes.
Ron. Time.
Space. Reality.
Come with me as we ponder the question.
What if?
What if?
Oh
What
man, what a show.
Fucking, let's be honest, Marvel shows got better, and better, and better.
Yeah, I'll be honest,
Each
this is probably the up until Spider-Man, I think this will still be the best thing that Marvel has done this year.
Yeah.
Because good God, it was so good.
It was
so unique.
Brilliant. Yeah. It was just, I think honestly it was what Marvel needed in some weird way. Just like this.
It really was.
This ability to basically look at the MCU and go, you know what, fans have always had fan theories about all these certain things. Some of them are really crazy, you know, like what if this? Why not do that sort of thing? But us doing it instead of the fans that way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But yeah, every episode honestly was great.
I loved it. I loved it so much.
Yeah. All I can sit here and think is trying to figure out a way to bring in the phrasing. No, I can't do it. What will they just do for season 2? Because season 1 blew my mind to such a mad. The last 2 episodes were
phenomenal, insane. Because what I loved about this is like it was introduced as like an anthology series, right? Where like the episodes didn't really have anything to do with each other, and then at the end it's like we're gonna take elements from every single episode and make like a big mega episode with all of the crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
And it was so good because they basically, I'll be honest, like sometimes with things I don't like to be like, I don't like people or shows to really like have me constantly like on my toes going like what's gonna happen next. Sometimes I just want to enjoy the ride. This was different. I loved not knowing what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
I will say there was one character or situation that they did kind of underutilize. I would have liked to see Spider-Man with the cloak of levitation a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that's a personal thing.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see that a little bit more.
Yeah. Although I will say Ant-Man's head with the cloak of levitation, wonderful. I loved it so much.
And I will say Ultron as the villain, fucking brilliant.
Amazing. That's a fucking redemption for Ultron.
Yeah, honestly, I was about to say, like, the Age of Ultron movie stank so badly that they asked themselves, what if they did something better?
Exactly. Literally. Man, Ultron in this film is so... Oh, man, I loved it. I loved it so much.
I saw that.
Just a little meme for people, you know.
But yeah, honestly.
It was such a strong finale.
Because, like, at this point, like, because I think... I am honestly willing to say, I think in the future, it might be that the best stuff Marvel does going forward might just be Disney Plus shows at this point. Because let's be honest, even Hawkeye actually looks pretty good. Like,
yeah, it really does.
It's not going to be better than What If, but it honestly looks.
It looks good.
It
looks fun.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, I think weirdly, and don't get me wrong, once again, I loved What If, but every episode really was just so dark and grim up until the
Yeah,
final two. Well, up until the final episode, which kind of brought things back. That
yeah.
I've now kind of gone, oh, so dark and grim, loved it. And then like Hawkeye's like, ah, fun, yes,
Yeah, exactly.
please,
Well, here's the thing, like it was
give
dark
me
and
comedy.
grim, but like it got to a point where like everything had to be dire worse. And some of the episodes themselves were quite lighthearted until it got there. Like for instance, the Star-Lord episode, where the T'Challa is Star-Lord, I think overall was probably one of their strongest episodes.
Yeah.
Just because Thanos was so fucking good. Um, I loved the Thor episode as well, where he just had an intergalactic space party on Earth with so many fucking cameos.
Viva!
I just loved the bit as well where it's like Maria Hill is like director of Shield temporary, and it's like, why? What happened to Nick Fury? And you just see him fucking get demolished by Korg. It's so good, and it was all of the actors as well. Like it was Samuel L. Jackson playing him. It
Uh,
was
and it was
what's her
Chris
face?
Hemsworth, right?
It was Chris Hemsworth, yeah, which only made it better.
That makes us. Which can we just now appreciate the fact that that means in the final episode it was Chris Hemsworth going "Viva Las Vegas."
It really was. It really was. And it was also him screaming like a scared little girl.
This only goes to show that Chris Hemsworth is the best Marvel actor there is. Maybe not. He's just
The
the
most
best actor there is in
he,
the MCU.
he's the most
But Chris is
versatile
so
actor because
versatile.
he's the most versatile character. It was
He
so
can
good.
play the fucking super over the top Thor from Thor 1 and Thor the Dark World, where he's this more traditional, like, have at thee, what say you? So on. And then he can play the fucking Thor from Thor Ragnarok, where he's just fucking cracking jokes and
Yeah.
still beating the shit out of Hela. And then he's just fucking fat dude Thor. And then
Yeah.
he's also fucking bro Thor.
I just love it so much. Man, I can't
I
wait
mean,
until season 2 gets here and they just like show various more universes where crazy things can happen.
yeah. Because the thing is, I'd love to think about like all the different what ifs they can do, but honestly, I just want to see what they do. I know I
Yeah,
don't want.
genuinely.
It's, whatever they do is going to be great.
But what if we did another what if episode at some point, because it's been a while.
It has been a while, actually. We probably actually that's a good point. We
We
should do one.
we can finally do one live as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Having said that as well, I think if we do another what if, I think we shouldn't do anything for Marvel because I think
They'll take care of
Marvel's
that.
got that handled.
Yeah,
But we
yeah,
should
yeah.
probably
We'll DC, Star
we'll look to do
Wars.
something with DC or Star Wars. Yeah, probably
Yeah,
DC because let's be honest,
probably.
I think it's just a little bit easier.
I agree.
Um,
I agree. But
but
yeah,
anyway,
lovely.
looking to wrap it up, I think there was one last thing. Oh, just quickly, I
Yes.
think all this talk about Chris Hemsworth as Thor has cemented one thing for me. There are basically, I feel like, a few actors that now you can never recast these characters.
Oh,
Hugh
100%.
Jackman is Wolverine is one of them.
Yeah.
I think now Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man was one.
Yep.
Chris Hemsworth is Thor at this point now. Is Thor
Absolutely.
for me.
Absolutely 100%.
You can never recast anyone else's Thor now because it will just be ruined because of how well he's done with the role.
I think I will say by virtue of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't think any actor could realistically be replaced after so long. Like, yeah, they have been replaced after a film or two. Like, for example, James Rhodes was replaced from Terrence Howard by Don Cheadle. Then again, Terrence Howard only did one film.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo replaced Edward Norton because he was being a little bit of a prick.
Yeah.
You know, people can be recast in theory, but it doesn't really happen that much anymore. So
Yeah.
for the most, and especially like central roles like, you know, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man or Chris Hemsworth as Thor, I don't think you can ever really replace them because it just wouldn't make sense to do at this point.
Weirdly, the only one I could think of that you could weirdly do and maybe get away with is Chris Evans as Captain America.
No.
You
No.
don't think so?
You can pass on the mantle, which is what they're doing right now, but I don't think you can recast him realistically.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because
I think that's the
he's the
thing.
guy now.
I think that's the thing. All they can realistically do is just pass on the mantles now to
Yeah.
other people. And weirdly, actually, the only one they can recast, weirdly, is probably Spider-Man. Not in the actual MCU, but
Yeah.
if they did other films later on. with
Yeah, no,
Spider-Man.
they
But
could, in
they've
theory.
done it so many times now. At this point, Spider-Man is now the mantle, not an actor.
Pretty much. So
Which
I
works.
don't like that could work, for example, but like I just don't think they're gonna do that because
No, I think if anything, they'll get Miles Morales
yeah, because it's a cinematic
Spider-Man.
universe at this point. Like I don't see a
Yeah,
reason to stop that. You could reboot it at some point, but I think
which
they need to go on for a little bit longer. And
I
with
think at least, I think in all honesty, if they said they were going to go on for another 10 years doing like a bunch of stuff, I would probably say, yeah, so long as it's good,
so long
go
as it's
for it.
interesting, so long as they have
So long
new
as it's
things
good and
to
interesting.
explore.
And so long as you don't make mistakes like saying Captain Marvel is the strongest Avenger, I'm fully supporting you.
Exactly, because that's a fucking lie and everyone knows it.
The crime against nature and an abomination is what it is.
Exactly. And on that bombshell, I think we're good to
It's
wrap
time
up.
to end.
Thank you guys very much for watching. It's been fun as always. We will see you guys maybe in another month when we do one of these again.
Yes.
But we'll probably be playing games in the meanwhile. You
Yeah.
know, we're always looking for PS4/5 games to play together.
Play. Yeah.
Yeah, in case
That'll be
Battlefield gets a bit old, even though we tend to default to Battlefield anyway. So
I mean, to be fair, Battlefield is, I think, just a fun, chill game to play anyway in the
it really
evening.
is. It really is.
There are slow points where we can talk, and then there's action-packed points where like, oh fuck, we need to get going. But yeah, I think we'll find something to do. We'll find plenty of stuff.
For sure. But until then,
Mm.
we've been Guy and Ron. Done a discussion. Thank you very much.